Really? Really? With the election of Trump, I believe that this is the beginning of the end of Western dominance in the world.
Well, that's been coming for some time. I think he's just going to speed things up.
Yeah. Did you all know China and India have had a faster growth rate of GDP for the last year or so, actually for the last few years. So according to World Bank data, right?
Mhm.
China's GDP growth from 2022 to 2023 was 5.2%. India's was 7.58%. And America's was what?
2.1%.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
2.1% growth.
So even though we have an overall higher GDP than both China and India, we are not growing at the same rate. So how they say we have the best economy in the world and all this whoop-de-woo, they're in denial or they're just lying. I don't know. What do you think? Which is it?
It might be in Egypt.
Not denial. You making a joke? You're making one of those 1950s
I
jokes.
had to throw it in there because you said
That's like such a baby boomer joke.
you said denial, so I had.
Y'all see him?
I'm sorry, yeah.
Y'all see him?
I am who I am.
All right. So we have been living outside of the United States for going on 3 years now.
Yeah, we've noticed that other people are not as nationalistic and myopic as in the United States.
All right. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means they are dealing in reality. That means they don't believe that they're special just because they exist, right?
Mhm.
They are not in denial. So in this video, you'll learn what you should consider when choosing destinations in this new political environment.
Yeah, and you'll learn practical tips for planning your move, including budgeting and logistics.
You'll learn how to find remote job opportunities that align with your skills and your passion.
And how to find remote work. Oh, you said that.
I said that.
You erased that one before, so it was in my brain.
Oh, okay. All right. Go on now.
Hey, don't blame it on my Kool-Aid.
Resources and communities. We will give you resources and communities that will help you. It's easier if you do stuff in community. And we're talking about Black communities. All right.
Black digital nomads.
For Black digital nomads, if you're moving abroad, et cetera, et cetera.
And then you'll want to stick around to the end.
Why?
Because we have a list of 9 countries that are some of the best destinations for Black Americans seeking a welcome environment.
A welcoming environment.
A welcoming environment.
Because it's not welcoming in the United States. We've got people sending out texts talking about, you need to report to the plantation to pick cotton. We've got folks showing up in person, getting in people's faces saying, ha, 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 you about to get put back in your place.
They got Nazis walking down the street.
Walking down the streets in Ohio and all of these other places. Y'all. Not only that, we've got 9 countries. 6 of these countries we have never mentioned before.
Shoot, I can't
even
pronounce someone's name.
All right, you ready? You ready to get started?
Yeah, I guess we should introduce ourselves.
All right. Hey, y'all. My name is Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, He Drinks Wine, and we talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth. We help Black folks who are getting close to retirement age get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early.
Early is always good.
Early is always good. So what are we talking about today, sweetie?
So today we're going to be talking about escaping America and the 5 things you must know. How to get out of America before January 2025.
How to get out before the inauguration, y'all. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready? But first, if you are new to our channel, then you might not know. Back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We were looking at our money and it looked crazy.
Crazy.
We had not planned well. But within 3 years, we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. Y'all, if we can do it,
You can do it too.
you can do it too. All right. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. We know that 50% of the folks who watch us are not subscribed, don't have commitment issues. We're trying to get to 50,000, y'all. We're trying to get to 50,000 because this is important information for our community, and we cannot remain in bondage on the plantation in the matrix anymore.
And we're committed to you.
We are committed to you. If your country does not serve you, if your country does not treat you well, stop taking those slaps across the face and find a country that will. All right. So if you find any of this intriguing, hit the like button, smash that like button right now, and hit that notification bell so that you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video.
Yeah.
All right. So considerations. When we were putting this list together, we were thinking about a couple of things. Now, for nomadic folks, we were thinking about, are the people accepting of you, right? Or at least will they leave you the F alone?
Yeah.
Will they leave you alone?
And then we think about, what's the cost of living?
Yeah, cost of living is always important. Additional considerations were brought into focus when we're talking about looking at all of these places that you will be traveling to, but which place do you want to stay long term? So for long-term stays, do they have a stable government?
Are they a banking hub?
Okay, can you trust their banks? What are the chances of them getting involved in a military or trade war?
What is the tax scheme?
And is there a pathway to a passport? So before we go on to remote work, let's see who's in the chat and say hello.
Hey, hey.
I know CK was one of the first ones from Cali.
Yep.
I
It's
know.
okay.
I know there's been a lot of people talking about, how do I move to a blue state? And that's going to be good in the short term, but it's not going to be good in the long term, especially not if he crashes, if he scraps the Constitution. Because the bottom line is, the blue states can fight back all they want, but state laws do not trump federal laws unless the federal law violates the Constitution of the United States. Remember that from civics class? So if he scraps it, he can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. So, hey, LL Cooper from Washington, D.C., the epicenter. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Good to see you. Serene.
Serene.
Good evening. Hi, Utopians. Pray you are all keeping well. We are. I'm not even American and want to get out. Some scary is going down. I know. Ex-U.S. resident, now back in Manchester, England. Ooh.
Oh, okay. We were in Manchester. It was cold.
Burr.
Beautiful city, but it was cold.
As a matter of fact, I have a beanie cap that I bought in Manchester at one of the malls down near the tourist area because I was so cold and my beanie cap was not handling that British weather. It was laughing at it.
But the beanie cap you bought there, that's the best beanie cap she ever bought.
Yep. And I'm a skier.
Because it was cold.
And I'm a skier. So, hey, Allison, good to see you. Jametta is in the house.
The French hitter.
If you are logging in, say hello and let us know where you're logging into from. And if you're watching from the future, hey. If you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, hello, hello, hello. Let us know in the chat where you are logging into, and you must say hello. Hey, the French hitter, good to see you. Action BJ. Hit the like button and get your notepad ready. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Vanessa, good to see you. Happy Sunday. Ra A, good afternoon. Halisi and Rick in the OBU family.
Hey, Pinky.
Pinky's in the house. Hey, Kimmy, good afternoon. It's nighttime here, y'all. It's 8:40 at night.
Hey, Lois.
Lois is in the house. Hey, Tanya. Karen Louise. Hey there, Nichelle. Kate Stewart is in the house. Angela Strickland. Vicky, good to see you in the chat. The ABX girl. Jiva girl. Chiva girl.
Chiva girl.
That sounds newer.
Did you say hi to Tanya?
That sounds newer. We said hi to Tanya. We said he
I
was saying
missed it.
hi to Action VJ back there. See,
Okay.
that's they're talking to each other as well,
Okay.
right?
Hi, Tanya. I didn't say hi to Tanya.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Lori.
Lori Butler is in the house. Dr. Donna, the art appraiser. Hello, folks. Good day to you. Greta is in the house. Midlife Money
Greta?
Moves. I know I've got to get back to you on some things, Greta. So I wrote it back down on my to-do list, baby. Hey, Susan. Good to see you. RL. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That seems like a new name, too. Either that or you don't comment often. Hey, welcome to our Black Utopias family. Fellow Utopian, maybe, but I don't know. I think some hinky stuff went on, y'all. It's just too weird. Dina, it should have been at least closer, right? Like, something's weird. Hey, Dina, Unique Path to Wellness. Yakota, good to see you, boy.
Yakota, how you doing?
Halisi and Rick, hola, minha obi familia. Shanora is in the house. Vicky Hayward. Hey there. Razor, why'd they move now if they didn't move in 2016? Why did who? And I don't know if you're talking to us, Razor. That people move when they have the ability to move or when they conceive of moving. Now, I have to say, we thought about moving back in the Sarah Palin days. But for us, if you want to get all up into our business, I ran for office, and then we need to replenish our funds. So it was not an option for us in 2016. As you heard, we didn't get our shit together until 2020. So,
but when we did, we moved.
We moved. All right. So that's that. Yeah. Don't think we didn't think about it. Wow, I got you guys live. Hello from Thailand. Hey there. We're on our way to Thailand.
We'll be heading your way.
Yeah.
In 9 days.
Yes, because we have somebody in the group chat who keeps reminding us of how many days, and it just reminds me of how much we still have to do.
Love you.
Hey, Evelyn.
Hey, Evelyn.
Buenas tardes, OBU family from the nation of Panama.
All right.
Yeah. I heard the Haitians in Ohio were leaving. Let's see what happens to that manufacturing plant. Let's see what happens. And then GDP goes down even further. Look, I'm trying to tell y'all, America does not deserve your Black brilliance. All right? They don't. And they need to feel the pain of a Black brain drain. I'm gonna keep saying it. They need to feel the pain because they've taken us for granted for too long. I did not put all of the checks and balances in this chat. I'm expecting trolls. I need y'all to just go ahead and report it because I'm just going to tell y'all right now. This is a safe space. This is not a pro-Trumper place. This is not a place that we're going to argue about his policies because there is no argument.
No.
All right. We know that Project 2025 will decimate the African-American community unless we take action. We know that. And there's nothing that you can say that's going to persuade me differently. So don't even try. All right? Don't even try. Now that we've gotten that out of it, you just might as well just go bye-bye. Bye-bye. I have gotten my first deportation. Wait, what? What? Hey, Jackie's Journey. Good to see you. All right. Who else is in the chat? Erica, Wally, Soul, Bella Chic is in the house. Rock, good to see you. Michelle.
Yeah, go down again.
Isan One, this way.
Yeah.
Start Christ.
Nope. Where is it? Delete him.
What else did he say?
Really, Wally?
If you want to keep watching us, we are going to start breaking down Project 2025 for you since you obviously haven't read it. But I'll give you one thing, because the first thing that he said was the demolition of the Department of Education. What does the Department of Education do? Oh, student loans and Pell Grants. Oh, Federal funds for rural schools. Did you know, Mr. Wally, that in Colorado, 72% of rural schools are only open 4 days a week because they don't have enough money? So once the federal Department of Education goes, it'll be down to 2 or 3 days per week. Oh,
That's okay with Wally.
right. Head Start, so that people can go to preschool who are poor. Because if you're forcing people to have kids, but not supporting the kids once they get here, you've got Escape from New York.
That's okay with Wally.
That's okay with Wally, right? And oh, if you are a HBCU, which means that you are catering to the Black community, which they will interpret as discrimination against white folks, you will be charged and feed, and that fee will go to white folks. Reparation for white folks.
That's okay with Wally too.
That's okay with Wally.
Say hello to the bees and
Baby, you don't want to argue with me. I eat, sleep, and drink this stuff. I worked in politics for 15 years. Please, you don't want to come on here and debate me. So go away. Goodbye.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. Bye. Dr. Donna, the art appraiser, is in the house. I'm marking the questions as I see them. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Professor is in the house. Ballerina, Evelyn, Hugo. Good to see you, Helen. Jacqueline, we love you all. Thank you all for being here. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom just to make sure y'all know, if you are Utopian, you know to put a Q in front of your question or comment that you want us to put on screen. Black trolls. You know, I feel sorry for my Black brothers and sisters that they have colonized minds. I'm sorry. I understand it's very hard in America not to have a colonized mind. I think most of us do to varying degrees. But I was raised by Malcolm X and Sister Soldier, so don't you ain't like, I'm not the one. I am not the one. So, all right, just looking through to make sure that I marked them all. I have. All right, so we're going to get started. Let's talk about the money. Best sites for finding remote work, okay? Because in order to get out ASAP, you need to be able to work from everywhere unless you already have your money straight, right? And so we have put together a list of remote work websites. These websites are dedicated to finding 100% remote work. And the first one is
We Work Remotely.
We Work Remotely. Okay. I might go ahead and copy and paste this in the description below later. So if you're watching from the future, hopefully it'll already be there. But for right now, take out your notepad. The second one is remote.co. Remote.co. The next one is
Flex Jobs.
So Flex Jobs, you have to pay, but it is a very well curated list. Okay. So obviously, if subscribers have to pay for it, you have to pay for Flex Jobs, then obviously they're going to have none of the nonsense is going to be in there. The next one for startup roles, like if you're younger or if you're going to a place that you don't need a lot of money and you just want one of them jobs you can do in your sleep.
I like those jobs.
What website is that?
AngelList.
Yes. The next one is Remote OK. And then the last one is not just for remote jobs, but it's LinkedIn remote jobs. Use remote as a filter when you're looking in LinkedIn. And then don't forget to really keep your LinkedIn resume updated, y'all.
Definitely.
Okay? Keep it updated and let ChatGPT or any other AI help update it, help clean it up, spice it up, and then you can go in after it does its stuff and go from there and further put it into your voice. But you want to make sure that you have the keywords and all of those things that you usually see in the jobs that you're looking for. They need to be integrated into your resume. Freelancing sites. So if you've got a little bit of a stash put away, and you can start building up your business and freelancing, consulting, and stuff like that. The main platforms for doing that are
Upwork.
Yep. Upwork, y'all have heard of that. Top Tall. Toptal, Toptal.
And Fiverr.
Everybody's heard of Fiverr.
Everybody's heard of Fiverr.
And then last but not least, people per hour. People per hour. So freelancing sites and remote work sites. Let's get to some questions, and then we will go into practical tips, what you need to think about right now, today, so you can make sure that you can get out. If not before January 20th, then by February 1st. Look, y'all, we are not playing. We are not playing. If you've got a bunch of crap in your house, we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about that too. So especially for those folks who own their homes and they're like, okay, well, I own my home. How can I get out? There are ways. There are always, oh, I starred them. That's right. Okay, so we only have a few. Let me just go down to the bottom and make sure. What are you guys talking about in this chat? Hit that like button. Hit the like button if this is the kind of information that you think needs to be shared. Hitting that like button lets YouTube know that this is something that our subscribers and watchers like, and that other people who watch what you watch may like as well. All right. Greta says, sounds like to look at an international index fund. Yeah, in Beyond the Bling, which is our financial freedom course for late bloomers, we're doing stock studies. One of the assignments that we gave is how to protect our assets. And I've been doing a lot of research this week about that. And so we will definitely be talking about that on a later live stream. But I'm also looking at international index funds and smaller companies that are in other countries. So you all know that I'm a member of Better Investing and Manifest Investing. And on Manifest Investing, especially, which is an offshoot, it's Better Investing for people who are, it's like the 2.01, right? Better Investing is that 101 class, and Manifest is like the 201 or 301 class. And they're always talking about, they always have at least 1 to 5 companies that are not US based. And I've always been hesitant because to me, I need to understand their market. But I think I'm gonna start doing some more research and start with those companies that they are suggesting. So as I learn, y'all will learn. Most definitely. Michelle, to block trolls, hover over the name, click the 3 dots to the right, click block, and then keep enjoying the live.
Thanks,
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. So I think that only blocks it for y'all. But if I come across them, they'll just be banned. They'll just be banned. This is not the place. This is not the place. Just need more emergency funds before I say toodles. Rick said I wasn't to leave in expeditious fear. Right. Do not let desperation be your motivation. Right. So I would say, depending upon where you're going and how much you have, 2 to 3 months emergency funds. Okay. That's living expenses, not salary. Living expenses. Your living expenses should never be the same as your salary. Let me mute that. All right. Can you please go over the remote work again? Sure. You can watch the replay too, but it's we work remotely.
We work remotely. Remote.co.
Flex Jobs.
AngelList.
And Remote OK. And then lastly was
LinkedIn Remote Jobs.
Yeah. So you just use remote as a filter. All right, sweetie. And then Michelle, speaking of reparations for non-melanated folks, be careful of where you spend your money while you are still in the U.S. as much as you can. Look for Black owned. Oh, yes. we will be doing a Thursday show.
We're going to do a Thursday show. You must have heard us.
Thinking, right? So this Thursday, we're going to be talking about which businesses support democracy and which businesses support fascism and autocracy. Because that's where we're at.
Quit buying them Teslas, y'all.
Quit buying them damn Teslas. Quit buying them damn Teslas. I'm sorry.
Get you a Chinese electric vehicle.
Exactly. Or Japanese. I thought you guys said 2 years emergency fund. Is that correct? We're talking about getting out before January 20th, CK. So this is for we saved 2 years emergency fund because that's what we needed to feel comfortable. Um, Understanding that we retired earlier and we did not fully fire. FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. We are Coast FI, which means that we are still depending upon income from someplace else. Now, here's the deal, y'all. We are depending upon Social Security. They're talking about cutting Social Security tremendously. Tremendously. That's what they are saying. The person who says I was a fearmonger, that's what they are saying. Okay. So I believe them. If they change their mind, great. But I'm going to go with the notion that they're going to do what they say they're going to do, right? So, so we have to plan accordingly. And so I thank God that we still have that 2 years emergency fund. But if you are still going to be working either remotely or freelancing, and some could say that our YouTube channel is freelancing, but if you're going to still be doing that, then you may not need 2 years. You need to have the amount that you feel comfortable having. Okay. For us, that's what it took. Because again, we went from making, 100,000 plus combined, because we never made that individually, to 31,000 a year, 35,000 a year. So, I'm not a consumer like I was before. I didn't take that into consideration, that I wasn't going to be buying up everything.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, that's where that is. Robert Johnson, hey there. Curtis, hey. I see some new names. I don't see any more questions. So practical tips. First of all, get the Move Abroad Toolkit. Get the Move Abroad Toolkit. It's in the description below. It's only $8.99. And it's like a 15-page workbook that comes with emails that walk you through the workbook. This works whether you're going to bop around the United States, bop around the world and be a digital nomad, or if you are saying, you know what, we're going to speed this up. We're going to sell our house. We're going to use that extra money and we're just going to move. We've talked to y'all since November 6th. I can't tell you how many new one-on-one coaching calls we've had where they're like, you know what, we were talking about 2 years, but we're doing it as soon as possible.
Yeah, back to back.
Right. So for those people who have equity in their homes, this could be the way for you to get out sooner than later. But I want you to be very judicious on how you do it. So get that Move Abroad Toolkit, because even though you're going to be nomadic, the toolkit will still work for you. You will do the toolkit for multiple places. That's just the difference. Like if you're going to bop around, you've got the toolkit, you can make copies of it and save as. Y'all know how to do that, right? It's a fillable form and you can do one for each place that you're going as far as the budgeting and everything else. I would do a master budget, because if you say, I can live off of $2,100 a month, let's just say, then that's your main budget. Then you are going to be looking for places that you can live the way you want to live for $2,100 a month. Okay, so the master budget won't change, but then you might find a place that's like popping for $1,500 a month. What are you going to do with that extra $700? Remember, every dollar should have a job. So if you've got 2,100, or let's just say 2,500 coming in, you plan to live on 2,100, you find a place that you like to live for 3 months for 1,500, that extra money should be doing something. At least put it in high yield savings. Don't say, oh, this is cash that I can just
spend on whatever.
Because we do not know what the future holds, and we need to remain nimble. We need to remain nimble. We're Black folks. We understand that the rug can be pulled from up under us at any moment. At any moment. Y'all, when I was born, my mom and dad didn't even legally have the right to vote. I didn't have the right to vote when I was born. There was no Civil Rights Act when I was born. People act like this was a long time ago.
No.
This was not a long time ago. This is in my lifetime. So in the toolkit, you're going to talk about budgeting. You're going to come up with your timeline to get out. You're going to start with the date you want to leave, and you're going to work backwards. And then you are going to put together your list of needs and wants. Needs and wants. That's so important because so many times we go to a place. The needs and wants is going to help you also for if you are not nomadic by nature, but you just want to get out now and you said, you know what? This can be like a trip around the world while I'm still working, but I eventually want to settle someplace. I need to nest. I need to nest. Then the needs and wants is going to be very, very important because we don't want to make emotional decisions, right? And if you have that list of needs, then you want to make sure that the place that you're landing has the majority of your needs and a good portion of your wants. Okay.
Okay. Then you want to find the online communities that support Black expats and digital nomads, like Facebook groups.
Yes. Free
Free.
online communities. Free online communities. And the first one is
Our Black Utopia Fire Over 50 group.
if you are not a member of our Fire Over 50 group, you must join. It is for folks from the diaspora. You do not have to be over 50. You just have to be into financial freedom, travel, moving abroad, or bopping around the world. Okay, so there's a heavy travel, move abroad, bopping around the world culture in there, coupled with the all important thing of getting our money straight. Getting our money straight.
But make sure when you do sign up that you have a picture either on the site or whatever so we can see that you are of the diaspora.
Yes. And if you are the spouse of someone from the diaspora, make sure that there is a picture of the two of you. All right. It's hard for us to go looking on your Facebook page, and some people's Facebook pages are locked. But we're really serious. We do not let anybody in who is not going to keep our community safe. Okay. As we talk about the isms that we have to deal with, whether it was the fact that, mama kept her money under the mattress, big mama and them, right? And never had a bank account, or, Uncle Boo Boo gets his checks cashed at the check cashing place because we know that's what the majority in Black neighborhoods are. Banks don't want to be there. All of those things. And what we don't want is somebody asking questions that then we have to educate people. That's not the look. That's not what we're dealing with. Okay. The next Facebook group that we recommend is
Exodus Summit.
Exodus Summit, y'all. This is a community of Black women who aim or are digital nomads, want to move abroad or have moved abroad or take a sabbatical. They share tips and tricks and their experiences, and they really are supportive. So I'm a member of Exodus Summit. Rick is an honorary member because it's for Black women only. But he has been on the Exodus Summit channel.
I have.
In Husband Speak, right? In Husband Speak. The next Facebook group is
Black Digital Nomads.
Black Digital Nomads. This is a vibrant community where members share travel tips, job opportunities, and travel experiences, personal experiences, etc.
Yeah.
Y'all have heard of this next one.
Nomadness Travel Tribe.
One of the first travel communities for Black travelers, including digital nomads focusing on cultural exchange and unique experiences. Now, this one I hadn't heard of, so I had to look it up.
Black expats and repats.
Yeah, a space for Black expatriates and returnees to connect, share advice, and navigate life abroad. Because sometimes, like the young lady who was talking earlier, she was in the United States and she's like, you know what? I moved back. Now, to me, Britain is only somewhat better than the United States when it comes to people of the palm persuasion, people who are melanin deficient, but at least the cops don't carry guns. At least the cops don't carry guns, right? All right. So where's the toolkit link? It is in the description below. And it's like in the first 6 lines after the description of this video. Then you'll see all of the resources underneath the description of the video in the description. All right. All right. You have a 2-part question. We're going to get to some more. I'm just trying to mark these so that I don't get too far behind y'all. There's more people. We've got 400 people watching. Hopefully we have 400 thumbs up. All right. For those of you who are pretty tech savvy, there is a Slack community. And I like Slack. I didn't like it for work. But I do like it in this regard for a more information, social atmosphere. So it's called the Black Remote Work Collective. And this Slack group offers job leads, mentorship, and community for Black professionals working remotely or aspiring to work remotely. Okay, so that's Black Remote Collective on Slack. If you don't know what Slack is, it's a free platform and you can download it onto your computer, or you can go to the platform via your browser, or there is an app as well.
I never used it.
Y'all didn't use Slack? No. Every place I've worked after 2013 used Slack, and sometimes it would just get out of control. The great part about it is that crap wasn't in your inbox, and then it was all there and you could go search by stuff. So that's another good thing about Slack. And then on Instagram,
at Black Digital Nomads.
At Black Digital Nomads shares inspirational content, tips, and highlights Black nomads across the globe. And then last but not least,
at Black and Abroad.
Black and Abroad, or am I a Black broad?
Black and Abroad.
Focuses on travel stories and guides for Black travelers with resources for digital nomads. All right, we are going to get to the destinations. Hey, I'm a tall boy. Good to see you in the chat. I know,
geez. When you coming back to Portugal?
Oh, he texted me just a little bit ago. He'll be back soon.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think that we are going to be in town. Come, Rick, can you get me into the Exodus Summit group?
You know,
he's not in the Exodus Summit Facebook group, so he not in. He ain't in it. He ain't in it. They ain't letting him in.
Let me see what
they'll let him put his face up against the window.
Hey,
between you and Gene, y'all sitting there with your face against the window. You know,
I got connection.
He does because Rashida and Stephanie really like him, and so do I. All right, we're going to get to some questions before we go to the destinations. I'm really excited about this list. We put a lot of research into it, and I watched a lot of videos. I did my Googles and looked at the databases and everything else. And I wanted to have something new. I didn't want to just go off of what we know. And so I started watching some people that I don't normally watch to get information that's outside of our sphere. And so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, I'm marking these questions and comments. And all right, I think I got all of them. All right, I'm gonna put the banner up. Y'all, if Portugal is the place, we have the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit, which was awesome this year, and you can buy the replays. All of that is in the description below. If you are ready to move or to start moving to Portugal, if Portugal is the place, then please go ahead and comments and sign up for the virtual summit. Everything is in there from immigration,
taxes, medical,
health,
insurance, health,
right? Healthcare experiences, relocating your pet. Schooling. We also had people from all over the country of Portugal, Black people, talking about their experiences, right? How they felt. We had a men's panel. The difference in being a Black man in Portugal,
three
different generations, a Black American man. And I have to say that because I recognize that other people from the diaspora that are here that are not English speaking do not seem to have the same privilege that we do. Okay. So I want to recognize that. All right, Jacqueline. What are your thoughts on the program Remote Year? Spend a year traveling and working remotely, new country each month as a way to get out of Dodge. I think it's great.
We were just discussing that the other day
Yeah, yeah, I think it's great.
as a method of getting out of the country
Yes,
faster and being able to do different things. That's great.
exactly, exactly. So remote years, for those of you who are not familiar, because I didn't hear about it until after we had already moved. So it wasn't really an option. I was tired of working, y'all. These people, these white folk were killing me. They were killing me. Not my boss. She was cool, but cool with me anyway. But these Bernie bros and everything else, I was going to slap somebody, kill somebody. I was going to catch a case, and I didn't even want to go there. I didn't even want to go there. But yes, remote year, if you want to get out of Dodge sooner than later. Some Black people have said they want to get out of the stock market. I said that would be a huge mistake. You must look at what your investments are and adjust accordingly. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. What's that song? When I move, she moves. And when you move, then I move.
You've been
I keep
asking
saying
me
that. I gotta find that song on Spotify. I used to have it in my playlist, but it's been a minute. I say that to say, what's Warren Buffett doing? Right? What's Gates doing? What are the folks who have a lot to lose doing? Right? And we got to watch what they do. We got to watch what they do. And we also need to look at the policies and what industries they will affect and then respond accordingly. Okay. I do not think that these folks are going to let this thing just go by the wayside in the next year or two or three or four or five. But what we will see, I think, in the long term, and I've said this before, is a seismic shift in the power structure. BRICS is now more than 5 countries. And then there's other countries like Turkey that are in the, are they in the EU? I think they're in the EU. And also asking to be in BRICS. If it's not Turkey, it's another one that is in the EU and asking to be a part of BRICS. Y'all, this is serious, okay? And they just had a meeting like 2 weeks ago, and they're talking about coming up with their own currency. They're still talking about that, but mainly not using the dollar, no longer using the dollar to purchase import goods, all right? And this is especially important because when Russia attacked Ukraine, and this is something that they didn't really report on in the news, the United States and Europe basically took all of Russia's money that was in European banks and in the United States banks. And then Russia turned around and did the same thing to Europe and the United States. Europe said, we ain't going to buy no more Russian gas. Russia said, cool, we'll just sell it to India. We'll just sell it to South Africa. We'll just sell it to Brazil. They don't have a big economy. Russia does not have a big economy. But all of them together, that's a different story.
Yeah,
that's a different story.
Different story.
So if you think every empire fails, and it's usually every 200 to 300 years. Y'all do the math. Do the math. Absolutely multiple income streams. Just like you should have a diverse portfolio of stock, you should have diverse income streams. My nose is running for some reason.
You better catch it.
He's just full of baby boomer jokes today, y'all. Do you hear him? So, okay, Tony, I told you where the toolkit link is. It's in the description below. There's an icon by it, and it says, I think with an airplane, and it says Move Abroad Toolkit. All right. So, yeah. All right. I have a 2-part question. I have a family member who has savings of $400,000. Great. Can she qualify for a long-term stay Portugal visa? Is racism worse in Spain compared to Portugal? Yes, it is. Racism is worse in Spain. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I have not met anyone who has said differently. I have not felt racism in Portugal, to be honest. I just haven't. It's interesting because yesterday I thought I felt one of the security guards in Pingo Doce, the same Pingo Doce. See, this Pingo Doce is in the tourist area or right outside the tourist area, kind of integrated. And this is the same Pingo Doce. When I walked out of the self-checkout, it beeped, But this other man was walking out at the same time, and the police checked my bag. The other guy walked back in, so there was nothing to check. He was very nice about it. So I was at that same Pingo Dos, and this is a grocery store chain, y'all. And I felt like the security guard was following me around. So then I just start wandering, and then I didn't see him anymore. So it was just me. It was just me.
Was he black?
No, because usually if it's somebody really following me around, is a black person. See how we do? See, colonized minds, colonized minds. I'm a guest here, just like immigrants to the United States do far less crime than people born in the US. I'm not trying to get kicked out over some groceries. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? So anyway, so yes. For 400,000, I have a family member. Well, the question is it for a family of four, for a family of six, or a single person? If it's a single person or family of two, they're fine. Maybe even fine for a family of four. Okay, so the qualification is, as of 2025, I want to say €900 per month for the breadwinner, plus 50% of that for a spouse, plus 25% of that for each child. Okay, and so 900 is about $1,100 a month, something like that. So Portugal's easy as far as that criteria is concerned, and some of the places on our list are not as easy as that. CK, the anticipated demise of SSI will be replaced by my second retirement. Thank God I've stayed to earn a second retirement pension. Yeah, most definitely. Is Halisi investor auntie available to return for a session or three in light of the election results? So that's my stepmother. And actually, we have been talking about that. All right. So first, we are going to come to a consensus on what the strategy is. She's been studying, I've been studying. And so it's probably going to be after we get back from Thailand. But yes, we're going to do that. Is selling a home for cash worth it? Maybe. It depends, Sharon. It depends on what you want to do. Okay. And so, if a person owns a home, 250,000 in gain is not taxable. I thought I blocked that. And 500,000 for a couple, right? If there's some assumptions that we're making, right? We're assuming that real estate will continue to go up in value like it has in the past, right? And if Trump does not build houses the way VP Harris was talking about building houses, and there's less inventory, then perhaps it will go up in the short term. But if the if the economy goes down, then even with less inventory, people are going to have less money. And so that could keep house prices stagnant, you see? And so these are the unknowns, and these are the things that you have to think about. The other thing that you have to think about is look at the growth rate in your community, right? And what that growth rate has been. And then you can, let's just assume everything's normal. Then you can kind of predict what future growth rate would be, and then take that same amount of money, whatever that equity is, and whatever the amount of equity that you plan to keep and not live upon. And if that were invested in the stock market over the same period of time, how much would the gain be? Okay. So it's not just a simple yes or no. Are international schools very expensive? Planning to bring my grandson to Portugal. Hey, expensive is a relative term.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah, expensive is a relative term. Compared to the United States, no. I have heard some people say they're kind of expensive, but W. Harris, your grandson does not necessarily need to go to an international school. All right. As a matter of fact, very few of the people that we know with kids
Send them to an
Send them.
international.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just go to
Yeah.
Portuguese school.
Exactly. You need to get to the you need to go ahead and invest in the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit, because and you need to get the VIP pass, because only the VIP pass or the all access pass comes with the schooling module. Excuse me, the session from, I think there were like 4 parents on there talking about the school system here in the Lisbon metro area. But then we also have someone who is up in Porto. So if Porto's the place, I can put you in touch with her, and she can talk about, she's got kiddos, and she can talk about what her experience has been with schooling up there. Okay. I don't think, unless you, I think this was a typo.
Selling a home.
I think you accidentally hit
I was
enter.
wondering, was she talking about, you know, how the selling a home, you know, getting cash for it, or how they have those ads, we buy your home for cash.
Oh,
I wasn't sure if that's what she meant, and
oh,
it was on my mind. So
okay. So going back to that, um, I would still do the same analysis. And then I would look at what they're offering in comparison to the comps. You can see the comps on your county's website. Every house sale is public knowledge, and how much it sold for is out there for the public. So you can put in your zip code, you can put in your block, etc. And you can pull that up on your county's website and see the comps, right? You don't have to be a real estate agent to see that. So if the average house with your square footage is selling for 450,000, and they said, well, we'll give you cash today, 375,000. You know whether you need that $75,000 extra or not. You know if you're willing to wait. Like if I only owed like 10 or 20,000 on my home, and so I could keep the majority of it, and I really, 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 really wanted to get out right now, I might forgo that 75,000. I might. It just depends. But that's the thing. And that's like, they're not doing you any favors. They're just saving you time. And to save time, you're going to give up some money. So I would do the same analysis. I thought you guys said 2 years. Okay, we answered that. Professor says it's Halisi's. Okay, I answered that. Blacks need to stand together and help one another. Yes, Vicki. Yes.
definitely.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about that as far as business goes on Thursday. One good thing, 2 good things have come out of these election results, besides the fact I still think it's hinky. Like if she would have lost by like, a point, he only won by 2.5 points at this point. But, if it was like 10,000 votes here, 10,000 votes there, 15,000 here, okay. But this is crazy. There's something wrong. But the 2 good things that came out of this is no one will ever gaslight me again that racism is dead or misogyny is dead and in the past. There is no way on God's green earth that you're going to tell me that a 34 count felon who would go into dressing rooms with half-naked little girls on purpose, who grabs women by the chichi, right? That this person should be president over someone who has been a prosecutor, an attorney general of the 4th largest economic system in the world, right? The 4th largest GDP in the world. California has the 4th largest GDP in the world, larger than countries. She has been a senator. She has been the vice president. And the one who's looking at little teenage girls' chichis is more qualified.
Talking about Arnold Palmer? Really?
Mocking fellatio on the stage.
Really?
So that no more gaslighting.
Okay.
Gaslighting is over. But the other part that I just love is I love the fact that we are in alliance, that we have come together, that we are supporting each other. And I'm watching all of these IGs and TikToks and shorts where women are talking about, I walked out of the grocery store and this woman looked at me and said, "Work it, girl." And I was like, "Oh, you're gorgeous." And we just gave each other hugs, total strangers. I've seen so many of those types of videos, and those warm my heart. those warm my heart. So yes, I think that's one of the good things that has come out of this election. That, and we're like, we sick and tired. We sick and tired, and we ain't doing it no more. We taking them capes off. The capes have come off, right? Us first. We're putting on our own mask first, and then once we're relaxed, once we have revived, maybe we will help you put on yours.
Maybe.
It's not that easy for me to just up and move. It's not easy for anybody. What do you suggest for people like me? I mean, I don't know, Angel, what you mean by it's not that easy.
Yeah, what's your situation?
Yeah, you've got to tell me your situation. Look, I am managing my mom and dad who have dementia from abroad. They're still in California. All right. All of our kids, they're adults, are still in California. We have two pieces of property, or not in California, but in the United States. We have two pieces of property in the United States that we have to manage from here. We retired before we had saved enough money because it was just time to go. It was just time to go. So it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. But where there's a will, there's a way. So you've got to give us more information, Angel. I'm already tagging stuff to sell in our house. It's go time. That's right, Allison. That is right. Do not hesitate. Our apartments cheaper outside of areas of Lisbon need a 3-bedroom apartment. Yes, they are. W. Harris. So again, if you get the Move to Portugal Summit, we had somebody on there who is a house finder or an apartment finder, and he talks about the different rents that you can expect in the quote unquote suburbs. Now, mind you, Portugal is a very small country. So when we say suburbs, that means 15 minutes away. Okay. It's the city of Lisbon is very dense. And so, and the suburbs are relatively dense as well. And so it's not like you're going to be away from the action necessarily or anything like that. But yeah, there are definitely less expensive places across the way. For instance, I know you have your grandson, but we have a friend who moved on the other side of the river, which is just a 10-minute ferry ride from the tourist area, from the heart of the tourist area. And she was paying 600 a month for a 1-bedroom, 600 euro a month for a 1-bedroom. So there you go. That's an example. Can you please go over the room? Okay, I did that.
We did that one too.
And we did that one. Okay. Let's get to what I don't know where we left off. Okay, that's where we left off at 8:47. I'm going to mark any other ones and then we will get to the countries. Please hit that like button. I don't know where we're at, but let's let YouTube know that our community. Okay, we did that one. So Angel's going to give us more information. That our community, I'm going to start at the bottom because I think we've done all of these. Oh my gosh, y'all are talking. Y'all are talking. Ludicrous, stand up. World politics. I don't know what that says, but I'll mark it. Oh, when you move, then I'm okay. That's a Ludicrous song. Thank you, Angel. All right, now I'm going to find it on my Spotify again. I love it. I love it. See, y'all know I'm kind of lame. I try to pretend to be cool, but I'm not really cool. So the lady who always knows.
Hey, Dahlia.
Who always knows. Ashley, hey there. I'm glad you're here. For international school, expect at least 10,000 in tuition, but there are also bilingual private schools that are generally a lot less. Yeah, as I said, I don't know of any of the parents who are sending their kids to international school. Yeah, not any of them. So there you go. Thank you, Adelia, for that. Ashley from Africa. Ashley in Africa is in the house. So if Africa is on the list, South Africa is on the list, or Southern Africa, feel free to ask her questions and check out her channel. If South Africa wasn't so far south, it would be on our list. I love how I feel when I'm in South Africa, but it's just too far. It is just too far for me. And some of the places that we're going to list are actually just as far. They really are. So sorry about that, y'all. Everything is just beeping tonight. I'm sorry. Okay. No, just saying. Thank you, thank you, thank you, y'all. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support the community, super thanks, super sticker,
Buy a coffee.
and super whatever that other one is. All of those super thanks, all of that money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom course for late bloomers. Yes, you can support the channel by buying us a coffee, and other means are in the description below. But the biggest way you can support the channel is to hit that like button and to subscribe, and it is free. But we thank you so much, just saying.
Thank
We
you,
really,
thank you.
really do. All right. I think I have starred all of the ones that, okay, we did that one already. Did that one already. I'll do this one and then we'll go on. World politics 47 wants to add tariffs, and the response in Mexico is they can add tariffs too. I mean, there's NAFTA, so I'm not sure that the tariffs would apply to Mexico. That's the weird thing, unless he plans to get rid of NAFTA. But what is troubling, and Adelia, I'd love to hear what they're talking about down in Mexico, with him talking about he's going to ship everybody to Mexico now, and denaturalize Mexicans who have been in the country for who are born there or whatever, or who became naturalized citizens, and then send their family members back who got naturalized. Obviously, they want to get rid of what they call anchor babies. Which is, if you're born in the United States, then you're automatically an American citizen, even if your parents were undocumented. So, and I don't know, like most Latinos are not from Mexico. That's the crazy part about it. But you know how they think. So, Mexican president, Madam President, was talking about, yeah, and we gonna ship, all the Americans back to the States.
Like, no.
And a good portion of those are Mexicans who moved back, Mexican Americans who moved back to Mexico a generation or two later. So that's what's so funny. I would love to know what they're talking about in Mexico. But anyway, all right, let's get to the first destination. For those of you who were not as ignorant as we were with your finances, or you've got one of them nice government pensions, hopefully they'll remain.
Were you balling?
Yeah, so the baller lifestyle. The first one is Monaco. So in Monaco, a family of 4 estimated monthly cost without rent is
$6,770.
Oh, I was looking at this. I'm like, what are you looking at? We've got the euros, and we got the dollars, y'all. So I'm about to say, you need to check the medicine in your glasses.
$6,770.9.
Yes, and a single person can live there for $1,800 or $1,867 without rent. Now, the rent, a 1-bedroom apartment city center is going to cost you about $5,000, y'all. This is baller lifestyle. Monaco is one of the Beverly Hills of Europe, okay? Monaco is all of that. That's where the rich people go. That is where you're going to see yachts and all of that kind of stuff docked at the side of the houses and things like that. A 1-bedroom apartment outside of city center is going to cost you about $4,988.
But I mean, if you balling, you can find a balling apartment here in Portugal too.
Yeah, I mean they have
find them.
Yeah, there's $6,000 apartments here as well,
and more.
And more. Yeah, that don't make no kind of sense. All right, so in order to go to Monaco, think about this digital lifestyle. You can go there. People from the U.S., people from Canada, people from Australia, people from the UK can go there visa free. You get basically a tourist visa upon arrival, and you get 90 days. But Monaco is in the Shenzhen area, so that's 90 days over the whole Shenzhen area. So if you are going to Monaco and then you're like 3 months there, and then maybe I'll spend 3 months in Portugal,
you can't do it. You have to leave
for 3 months, and then you can come back for 3 months to the Shenzhen area. Okay, number 2.
Malta. I'm looking forward to going to Malta.
Yes. Malta is an island near Italy.
Yep.
And a family of 4 estimated monthly cost is
$2,934.70. Is that 70 cents?
No, 70.
70?
70.
70 cents.
And a single person's estimated monthly cost without rent is only $807, y'all. $807. Malta is affordable.
It's an island. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It's below Italy.
It is beautiful. As a matter of fact, we interviewed someone, which we will, this episode is coming later, but we interviewed someone who got to live in Malta for a while, play ball there and stuff. And yeah, so I can't wait to go. A 1-bedroom apartment city center is $1,000. $1,000. That's not bad. All right. 1-bedroom outside of the city center,
$838.67.
if you've got a family or you just want more room, 3-bedroom city center, $1,700. That's not bad. That's about Portugal prices. Not in the tourist area or Saldana, but definitely still in the city center. You can find that a 3-bedroom for $1,700, and then outside of the city center,
$1,319.36.
Now remember, Europe is small, so when we're saying outside of the city center, this is not like, for those of you who are from Southern California, like going out to the valley to Northridge versus,
Right.
and you got to work in LA and it's a 50-minute drive. We're not talking about that. Okay. So outside of the city center in Europe is a whole different thing than your average American city. You can go to, you can arrive in Malta and get a tourist visa
90 days.
as you enter. All right. You need a valid passport, but you need a valid passport to even get on the flight. United States.
If you don't have at least 6 months on your passport that you need to renew, you're not getting on a plane.
Right. So look at that and make sure you renew in plenty of time. They might require proof of funds and a return ticket or proof of a return ticket. But here's something, travel insurance. So we will put the 2 travel insurance places that we recommend, which is AXA or Safety Wing, in the description below. I'm writing this down, y'all, so I don't forget to do that. All right. And then permanent residence program. The reason why I didn't tell you about a permanent residence program for Malta is because they really don't have one. The only, we did not go over that. So we need to go over that. So let's go back to Malta. Baller place, right? Baller place. So I wasn't going to put this in because it's so expensive, but it's baller. So if you want permanent residence, you just need to invest 300 to 350,000 in a house. Euro in a house. All right. Or pay rent plus government contributions. They have a retirement residency, must show stable income and rent or buy a residence. And then, of course, employment residency. We're not really trying to do that. Digital nomad visa. They do have a digital nomad visa. And actually, this is not bad. You only have to be earning $2,700 a month, which is less than what the digital nomad visa is for Portugal, which is close to €4,000 a month. So, and the naturalization passport requires 5 years residence. So that's not bad.
No, like Portugal, but
that's not bad. That was Malta, but Monaco, Monaco was the one that didn't have it. Monaco didn't have anything that made sense. So I left that out because that's Malta. All right, cool. We're going to do one more and then we'll get to your questions.
The Green Isles, Ireland.
I
look forward to going to Ireland.
Some good things about Ireland, and I've talked to quite a few Black folks that were like, Ireland's pretty on point.
Yeah.
If you can handle the weather. Okay. So we'll go there in the summertime, but those British winters, I am not down for. But if you don't mind cold weather, if Sweden or Switzerland or Amsterdam or any of those places were on your list, then you might as well put Ireland on your list as well. And so for a family of 4, the estimated monthly cost without rent is
this one.
Yeah.
€3,485. Almost said dollars. Euro and 60 cents.
And then a single person is €995. The rent is not that bad. This is like an in-between place, right? It's not the least expensive. It's not the most expensive. An apartment city center is $1,584. Apartment outside of the city center,
$1,368.
a 3-bedroom apartment city center is $2,718.
And 3-bedroom apartment outside the city center is $2,232.
All right. We'll talk about the visa. So again, look, most of these places for right now, that blue passport still has privilege. And so again, you get a tourist visa when you walk up. All right, 90 days.
90 days.
And Ireland is not in the EU. It's not because of Brexit, right? It's not in the Schengen. So those 90 days do not count against you going to Malta or going to Monaco or coming to Portugal or anything like that. So that's for US, UK, Canadian, and Australian people. And I'm sure there's some other countries as well. But, this is an English-speaking channel, so I'm talking to English-speaking countries. Requirements, valid passport, proof of funds, accommodations, and travel purpose. The usual. And, I've never been asked that stuff. Every single country says that, and I've never been asked. I have been asked, how long are you staying?
Yes.
But I've never been asked for proof of a return trip.
No, never.
So,
but there's, can always be a first time.
Exactly. So they only have really one residency option that I think y'all would be interested in, and that's for retirees or self-sufficient individuals. So in other words, passive income or retirees that are bringing in at least 50,000 euro per year. So, which is about, at this point, maybe about $57,000 per year at today's exchange rate. All right. So that was Ireland. All right. And then we are moving off of the continent of Europe and going to another continent. All right. So let's get to your questions. Yeah. Thank you. If all of those who can flee get out, do you care or worry for those left behind who cannot? Well, I have family there. So yes.
Yeah, we have family there.
But you've got to put on your own mask first.
Yeah, you care and you worry.
And we've been talking to our family and friends.
We talked to them and we've tried to talk to them, and because sometimes family just don't want to listen because
they don't.
They got their own plan.
We're talking about adults. And at some point, folks have got to take responsibility. And unless you're making minimum wage, there is always a way to get in the financial position. Sometimes you're going to have to do things that you are uncomfortable doing. So for instance, we were talking to a client the other day, and we said, you either have to increase your income or reduce your expenses. And she's living in a 3-bedroom, if you're watching, hey there, I'm not going to say your name. She's living in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house or something like that, your typical, home. And I said, have you considered getting a roommate? And that was just a no-go for her. It was a no-go. So then my question is how bad do you want this? Right? How bad do you want this? Now, her idea was to rent out her home and go down and live in an efficiency apartment if she can find one at a fraction of the cost. And then she can use some of the income from her home. Okay. Either way, there's a sacrifice to be made, right? If you are not making enough money, you got to co-live, because the biggest expense that we have is our rent or our mortgage, right? We're going to talk about this on Thursday about our consumerism, right? The notion that the kids have to have all this crap for Christmas and Black Friday and, shoes and this and that and the other. Most of the people that are probably watching this channel are not making minimum wage. They're making more than that. But regardless of the fact, where there's a will, there is a way. Okay. And so sometimes we have to live a little bit uncomfortably in the short term to have what we want in the long term. So yes, I care, but no, I'm not worried, because that's wasted energy. It's wasted energy. And all we can do is what we're doing now, which is to go live on YouTube and give you guys the information for free. And this is our give back to our community.
Yeah, all we do is
Educate.
show a way
Yeah,
that it can be done.
that it can be done. Look, y'all, we had so much debt. We had so much debt. Now we're married. I know it's easier for two people than it is for one, but hopefully if you're only one, you didn't have as much debt as we did. When I say negative 22,000 net worth, that doesn't mean we just had $22,000 worth of debt. It's just that we had some assets, right? Right? You know how net worth works, right? So, you do what you need to do. And I remember going down that escalator in Nordstrom's, and I was a shoe person, going down that escalator and seeing those shoes. And I was like, no, we moving to Portugal. I don't care about them damn shoes. I do not care. I do not care. I don't care about that Coach bag. I don't care about any of that stuff. The only thing that I care about is saving and investing. And every single time I got the itch to buy something new, I would take that money and buy a share of stock or a partial share, fractional share of stock. And when I see the ping, you own, 0.25% of a share of Apple, I get my happy dance going. I get my happy dance going. And, we've got to find a way. The biggest issue homeowners are facing is a large increase in homeowners insurance. Tell me about it.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about it. In some states, insurance companies are no longer writing business, I guess underwriting. The premium increase have been extremely high. Y'all, our insurance went up, which raised our mortgage because, it's in the escrow account, raised our mortgage by $700 per month. $700 per month. I was like, I wasn't paying attention when the new thing came in. I saw it and I was like, okay, what's going on? And then I found the email that said the renewal, and I saw that price. I was like, okay, somebody's lost their mind. Now, I haven't made any claim. Well, yes, we did make a claim.
We did make a claim.
We had an electrical fire. So we made a claim. Plus, there had been a lot of hailstorms in Colorado. And so between those two things, they were like, yeah. So we had to go shopping.
And it's going to get worse because of, global warming and the weather patterns in Florida with the hurricanes, and Colorado Georgia. With Georgia and now South Carolina, North Carolina,
that whole southeastern.
It's going to get crazy. I mean, come on. They had hurricane, a couple of years ago, a hurricane in the Pacific.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
There's no such thing as global warming.
Can I come on a student visa and change it over after a year or so of graduating? So in the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit, we had someone on there who came on a student visa and talked about all of that. So she is now on a different type of visa. She is no longer on a student visa, but yes, it is possible to change visas after graduating. The fear is 47 deregulating banks and being the crypto president.
That's Elon Musk talking. That's Elon Musk.
Because y'all know, right, that there was a time when the FDIC did not exist, right? And that's why there were those bank runs that happened during the Great Depression, which basically crashed the banking industry 100%. And so more deregulation of banking, which usually means, like right now, I don't know the exact number, but for every dollar that they have deposited, they can only spend or invest a certain percentage. So let's just say they have $1 million worth of deposits. They cannot invest $1 million. They can only invest a percentage of that. They deregulate it, then we go back to them investing however much they want. And then they're over leveraged, right? And so if 10, 15, 20 people come in to get money and they don't have it, what they going to do? Oh, Lord, have mercy. The question is how to enter the crypto space knowing there is no regulatory laws. I told you, Rapper ND, I do not understand crypto, so I am not the one to ask this. Right now, until mortgage companies, dealerships, Costco will accept crypto, I don't get it. I mean, the whole point of money is that you can exchange it for goods and services. But crypto, you can't exchange for goods and services. You just exchange it for another currency, right? You cash out and get dollars or whatever I suppose euros or whatever. So then what is it? To me, it sounds like a Ponzi scheme. I'm sorry. I don't understand it. I do understand blockchain technology and I understand the importance of that, but I don't understand a digital currency like this. And what is concerning about a digital currency, especially when you have an autocracy, is that they can control it more so than they can control cash money, right? And even though, yeah, the government can come in and swoop all of the money out of your bank, if they can get it before you can withdraw it, right? And then you can have the cash in your hand. There's nothing they can do about it besides try to find you. But the notion that zeros and ones are sitting out there somewhere, and if I lose my wallet number or whatever that thing is, then I just lose all my money. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. And I have an issue of investing in something that's not regulated too. I mean, there has to be checks and balances. There has to be guardrails, right? And there's no guardrails. Thank you again. Thank you again. All of that money goes to our scholarship fund. Pinky, I just attended a webinar on Portugal visas, and the attorney speaking said that for 2025, the minimum wage was expected to go up to 870 euro a month, with yearly increase of 50 euro a year to 1,000 by 2028. Okay, sounds about right. That's why I just rounded up. I rounded up to 900 euro. But yeah, so I hope that was free, Pinky. Is Roth IRA a bad move? If one is moving to Portugal, double taxation is on my mind. You don't get taxed until you start withdrawing it, CK. But I would talk to a tax person here. Like, we're not tax person people, all right? And so the way those retirement accounts work, basically in general, they follow the rules of the country that you are a citizen of. That's kind of how the treaty works. But specifically with a Roth IRA, which is a post-tax account that grows tax deferred, right? I would talk to a tax person, send us an email, and I can give you the name of our tax person here in Portugal. And that's another thing, y'all. Before you decide to become a resident, really understand the tax scheme that they have there and talk to a tax person. If you need to find a tax person, go into the Facebook groups and ask for referrals. Okay, ask for referrals from the folks who are living there. So like we have 2, 3, 4 major Facebook groups for Portugal. We have Black in Portugal. We have American and Friends in Portugal. We have Black Americans in Lisbon. We have POCs in Portugal. And a good portion of those folks are living here and having to do life. Right. So that's how you find those. And so there's expat. They might not be Black in all of these places, but they have expat Facebook groups for nearly all of the major places that Americans are going. And so you'll want to go in there when you're making your decision, and you need to do your research. Peace and blessings. Hey, Kenneth, good to see you in the chat. I really appreciate the content. Thank you. What would you say is the main noticeable difference, if any, since you guys have relocated? I thank God for all the helpful content you provide. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So as far as I go, or I'm concerned, I think my major thing is peace. Peace. What would you say?
I would have to pretty much say the same thing.
We forget.
Just peace of mind.
Right? We forget, and some of the peace of mind has to do with, we have cut our expenses to the point where we really don't worry about money. So that also gives peace of mind, right? We don't have a car. We don't have car insurance. We don't have to worry about stuff like that, right? So that helps. But I think the other thing is that I don't think that we really appreciate how much armor we as African Americans or from the diaspora living in some of these places have to put on just to do life, right? We put on armor when we get on in public transportation. Like I used to take the metro from our neighborhood downtown to go to work, and I had to put on armor then. Two types of armor against the racist, and then being on the swivel, my head on the swivel, like what's going on, right? So there's that part. And then you get to work, and there's the microaggression and the this and the that and all of that stuff. And then you go into the store and people are looking at you crazy and following you around all of the armor that we have to put on, right? We have to speak corporately, or if we're too smart, then we're uppity and just all of that stuff. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. The other thing that we have talked about is, and you will find this to be the case in most of the countries, if not all of the countries that we're going to mention, is that there's not Karens policing you. I can sit in the park and get on my phone and play Candy Crush for half the day, and nobody's going to come up to me and say, "What are you doing here? Do you live in this neighborhood?" Nobody's going to say that. And we live in what I understand is an upper middle class neighborhood. And yet it is very diverse. We live in one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Lisbon proper. So class income has nothing to do with a lack of diversity, because it is there's lots of Black and brown people in this neighborhood, and they're everywhere, and they're running stores and cafes and fruitarias and things like that, and they live upstairs or over there and XYZ. I know because we have a courtyard and I hear their music. On Saturday and Sunday they be partying. I'm surprised we can't hear it tonight. So yeah, I think, and then you guys are talking about as Black men, like walking at night behind two white women, and the white women,
women not clutching their purses, not looking you up and down like you're a three-headed monster
or born suspect.
Right? Also, the other things that there's food.
Yes.
Being able to,
yes,
get food,
real
wholesome food, real food, and knowing that half the stuff that they put in food in the United States is totally against the law here. In Europe,
yeah, we
it's
did
against the law.
Yeah, it's against the law. We did a video on that. It's a Thursday short, so it's a shorter video about the quality of food.
Knowing that I'm not going to go bankrupt if I get sick.
Yeah.
Or if I have to go to the doctor or go to the hospital. I mean, I just filled prescriptions for some medication, and I got like, oh my God, I probably got like 5 months worth of medication for €27.
I just bought medication, 2 different ones, and each one was about €2.48. I just got lab work done, and it was totally covered. No charge. Between universal health care and the private insurance that we have, it was no charge. So I'll get the lab results, and I will not have come out of pocket, not one iota. So that's, it's a whole different ball game. There is a better life, y'all. United States is not the best country in the whole wide world. Don't let that. Maybe if you're white American, it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know how that feels. I don't know how to have, privilege that I don't deserve. I have no idea. But for us, it is not the best country in the whole wide world. Can you touch on things that might make moving to Portugal the wrong move, expectations and realities? Yeah.
If you're not willing to change your mind, if you're not willing to let go of your Americanisms.
And this is not just Portugal. This is anywhere.
Yeah. If you're not willing to learn or try to learn the language or understand the culture and the people, and you come with that chip on your shoulder, because I know I had that kind of chip. It's like,
why is she looking at me like that?
I'm going to catch a case. I'm going to catch a case because, this woman just walked up in front of me, or this guy just walked up in front of me, not realizing that because of the culture, nothing is meant by an older than me, a gentleman older than me, to walk in front of me and stand in line, at the grocery store, or a woman to do the same.
That's
thing.
the culture.
That's the culture. You give up your seat.
Yeah. Elderly people who are like on canes and this and that, we're kind of elderly, I suppose, but elderly who look old, 80s, stuff like that. They get to go first. Get to go first. That's just how it is. If you are on public transportation, you get up. And if you don't, other people will say, hey, they'll look at the youngest person in the old people, disabled people seats and say, you see this person over here, get up. That's just how it works. And so I think with all of these countries, you have to keep an open mind. You have to be willing to look stupid. It took me 5 times to figure out how to withdraw money. From the ATM machine. And then finally I had to find an English speaking banker to come show me because it wasn't translating correctly in Google Translate. Right. And so, things like that. The cobblestones are slippery when it rains.
Yeah. I'm walking down the hill. I went on a walk the other day and I was like, oh God,
Here
let
we
me take
go.
my time going down this hill because they ain't no joke.
Yeah.
But basically it's the frame of mind that you have to have when you leave the United States, because you have to realize I'm away from that now and I need to breathe and let things go. No, it's not Shangri-La. It's not going to be a Shangri-La.
But it is our Black utopia. There is a different culture outside of the United States. Now you'll find some of the same culture in some countries, but definitely not here. And it's not work. And look, the banks close at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. These parents are out in the park next door with their kids. You go out anywhere between 11 and 1 o'clock, and the parks are filled with people chilling, having some wine, literally having some wine, having a snack or lunch. Sometimes they'll have their kids with them. Sometimes they don't, because some of the kids get like a 2-hour break for lunch, right? And so it's just a whole different culture. And if you think things are supposed to go like this, Portugal's not the place. You want to go to Germany or someplace like that.
Yeah, if you can't have the patience, because you need patience.
You need patience. But where are you in a rush to go to?
Yeah.
Where are you in a rush to go to? Have you been able to learn more Portuguese, or do you think that it's not really necessary?
It's necessary.
It's necessary. And we're continuing to learn. I practice every single day when I'm out in those streets. They'll speak English to me when they hear my accent, and I'll speak Portuguese right back to them. And I'll say, como se diz, which is como se dice in Spanish, right? I'll ask them, how do you say this? How do you say it? And they love helping. They do for the most part. How does the Social Security work in Portugal? Mrs. G, I have no idea. As far as American Social Security, we have it going into the American bank. And then as we need money, we transfer it over in big chunks when the conversion rate is the most favorable. Yeah. They do have Social Security here. We're not paying into it, so I doubt we'll ever get it. We do have some friends who have been here long enough and who will get some Social Security. All right. I'm 80 years old.
How's the medical situation?
Excellent. It's excellent. It's better than America, and it's cheaper, and it's less expensive. Thank you, Lee. Thank you for the super sticker, super chat. Again, it goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. I'm preparing to move my mom to Panama. Cool. And the amount of Black people who don't realize how bad it's going to get is wild. People are in denial. They really are. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And I feel bad. I feel bad because, you can scream it from the rooftops, but it's like, I feel like it's Germany, right? As Hitler was taking office, and the Jews were just sitting there saying, oh, they're not going to do this. And then they come, then they had people coming and yelling in their face, just like they're yelling in our face, calling us the N-word. They're getting real bold, telling us to go back to the plantation and we're going to be put in our place. They were doing the same thing to Jewish people back in those days, and they stayed. So I don't know. All right, let's get back to our list. We're moving to the African continent, kind of. So the next one on the list is...
I ain't saying it. You got
Mauritius.
Mauritius.
It is an island.
I was going to say Mauritius.
It kind of looks like that. And it's on the other side of...
it's on the other side. Oh, God. Now you got me thinking.
Not Zanzibar.
No.
Where the island...
Where Stephen went.
Exactly. Okay.
Madagascar.
Thank you. One of those M words.
I was thinking about, was it the Disney cartoon with the animals?
Madagascar.
Madagascar.
Okay.
Madagascar. Small island.
Yes. So Mauritius is beautiful. It is beautiful. Interestingly, they've got a strong Indian culture there as well. So a family of four, the estimated monthly costs are
Oh, for a family of four, $2,088 US.
the beaches are beautiful. The apartments and stuff are modern and beautiful. It is amazing. A single person can live there for an estimated monthly cost without rent for $579 a month. Y'all,
It is an island, though. Remember that.
it
It's
is
an
not,
island.
it is an island. And if you're about that island life, I'd say go for it. Obviously, the food is inexpensive. Otherwise, the cost of living wouldn't be so inexpensive. A one-bedroom apartment city center is only going to cost you
$429.60.
$430, y'all. Outside of the city center, $321. Three-bedroom apartment city center,
$741.19.
and three-bedroom outside of the city center, $607. Again, same kind of visa situation.
Visa free.
Today, if you're from the US, from Canada, from Australia, you can just arrive and get your tourist 90-day visa. Same requirements. They want to make sure you've got accommodations, a passport, obviously, proof of a return ticket, etc. Now, for long-term residency, you can apply for residence permit through work, retirement, or investment. So retirees, which you have to be 50 plus, you need to transfer $1,500 a month into a local bank. $1,500 a month, y'all. And you can live on basically a tropical island.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
In the Indian Ocean.
Google it, y'all. Google it. It is beautiful.
The investment minimum is $375,000 in qualifying sectors.
Yeah. So if you want to do some kind of golden visa type of thing where you probably get permanent residency right off the bat, it's $375,000. Some of you all are balling that way and can do it. The next one, which is another island in Southeast Africa, is the Seychelles. A family of four, and this one is a little bit more expensive, but still not bad. Family of four, estimated monthly cost is...
I don't have that. Oh, got it up there. $3,626. I'm looking over here and it's like next to it. I'm like, where's mine?
A single person's estimated monthly cost is $1,024. A one-bedroom apartment in the city center,
$948.25.
It's more expensive.
A little bit, yeah.
This I think of all, this one as relatively speaking, and then the first one, Monaco. This is obviously less expensive than Ireland and things like that, but we're talking about an island down there in Southeast Africa. So I think $948 is a little expensive in the city center for a one-bedroom apartment, but for an American, it's not that bad, right? Outside of the city center, it's $811, and then a three-bedroom apartment in the city center, you're going to be paying about
$1,947.53,
which is kind of what you're going to pay here in Portugal. And then outside of the city center is $1,636. Again, to get in, all right, because we're bopping around because we are getting out as soon as possible. A visa-free visitor's permit, tourist visa, granted upon arrival for 90 days and is renewable.
For a fee.
All right. So you probably can double that time and stay half the year in Seychelles. The requirements are valid passport, onward ticket, proof of accommodations, and sufficient funds. So long-term residency, you can only do that by purchasing property. Okay. And so they only have a golden visa type of situation for permanent residency. All right. I think I numbered these wrong. I think this is number 11. Or not number 11, number 7 or 8. We're moving to another continent.
Malaysia.
We've got some friends who are going to Malaysia after Thailand, but I decided that was too much bopping around. I don't want to do all that.
You want to come back home?
No, they're going while we're going to be in Phuket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll be in Phuket. They'll be in Kuala Lumpur. But Malaysia, y'all. The other thing I just wanted to reiterate about all of these countries, because I see we almost have 700 people watching, and so we only had 100 and something when we started. These countries are countries that are basically neutral. All right. They're not going to get caught up in all this westernized back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. So all of these countries have great relationships with the United States as well as China and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're not going to be getting into military skirmishes or trade wars or any of that nonsense. And that's why we are mentioning these countries. A good portion of these countries don't even have a military.
No.
Okay. So Malaysia is on that list. And for a family of 4, the estimated monthly cost is
$1,805
without rent. Single person estimated monthly cost is $509. Kuala Lumpur is high on a lot of people's lists. Yeah. And I know Black folks who live there and in Bangkok, Thailand, and they are loving their lives. Phuket as well. Then we're going to Chiang Mai. So if you are, I know we had somebody in here from Thailand. If you're in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, or Phuket, reach out to us. hello@ourblackutopia.com. We'd love to talk to you and maybe even meet up. We're going to be in each place for about a week. So we will have time to do that. So in Malaysia, the other thing is usually we do cities in these countries. I didn't want to do that this time. So these are average prices. If you go to one of the more crowded cities, it may be a little bit more, but this is the average cost. All right. 1-bedroom city center you can get for a whopping
$367.44.
So for that person who said, I don't know if I can get out, $367 for a 1-bedroom apartment, y'all. And there is a community there. There is a community in Malaysia. Outside of the city center, $255. A 3-bedroom apartment city center,
$644.78.
And 3-bedroom outside of the city center, $420. You can't beat these prices. All right. Visa-free for most nationalities, including the US, EU, UK, Canada, Australia. 90-day tourist visa upon arrival. Okay. The only thing that I can say is probably for Mauritius, Seychelles, and Malaysia, you're probably going to have to get some shots. So we already got our shots for Thailand. And so you'll probably have to get some shots. So if any of these are on your list to pop around to, get your shots before you leave. Yeah, we paid too much for those shots, I think, but they did a very thorough job. They did a very thorough job here in Portugal. As a matter of fact, they have a whole center around travel for their residents. And so they ask you where you're going. For us, they asked where we were from, because then they know what vaccines we've already had. And she said, well, one of the things that, you want to watch out for is food poisoning. So she prescribed all of this stuff, like 4 different things. If it's just a little bit, take this. If it gets really bad, take that.
On everything
if it's in between, take this, right? And so and all of those medications cost us what, €25? There's like 4 different medications.
Yeah, €27.
Something like that. So, and I still haven't put it in with our insurance to get reimbursed. So we might end up having to pay nothing. All right. So you get 90 days upon arrival, same stuff, passport, proof of return ticket, blah, blah, blah. Residency options. So Malaysia is a little bit different, but the digital nomad visa is really cool. So Malaysia, my second home is what they're calling this visa, requires liquid assets of 500,000. I should have done the, I'm going to see if I can look this up. Why don't you read this and I'll look up the conversion rate.
What is it? Was it
It's Malaysia's currency. So
what's it called?
I'm gonna look it up. You read the rest. So it's 500,000 Malaysian money.
Yeah, MYR, whatever that's the abbreviation for. And right. Monthly income of MYR 10,000.
Okay, I'm gonna wait. Where's the calculator? Come on now, convert. Here we go. All right, let's reject. MYR here, MYR, the ringgit or something. and then US dollar. All right. So I'm going to put in 500,000. All right. So 500,000. So you have to buy, you have to have liquid assets of $111,000 for the Malaysia My Second Home visa, and a monthly income of 10,000. I don't think I realized this was in. So
2000.
so that's only $2,231 per month at this exchange rate, at the current exchange rate. So that's not bad. The digital nomad visa, you only have to be bringing in $24,000 a year, y'all. So what is that? $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month, and you qualify for a digital nomad visa in Malaysia. Now, we've got some safe bets. If those places were a little bit too exotic for you, we have some three that are tried and true that we talk about all the time, and we'll get to that after your questions. All right, let's get this done. Oh, we're getting along at a pretty good clip here. It's not too bad. I thought we would have been on longer. Y'all know the trolls are triggered. I don't see them. Give me the names, y'all. Give me the names. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I feel bad for people who believe that they're smarter than they are, that they're more knowledgeable than they are, you know? Um, because of how I grew up, I've never been one to think that America was all of that. And at 4 years old, I started, because of what my mom and dad did, I started learning the history and things of the countries on the continent. And so I just have a different take on things. And I've been, I have a master's degree in business. And so I've been studying economies around the world for over 15 years now. And I don't know how that happened. What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
I don't know. I'll let you work on that while I do that. And so, I mean, if you don't understand macroeconomics and you don't understand microeconomics, then maybe you don't understand the the situation that we're in. If you have not studied regimes and politics and history, then you might not understand the unique era that we're in. Y'all, every single time there is extended period of economic strife, the people who believe that they should never have economic strife look around for someone to blame. And so this time they've started out with immigrants, right? And black folks are always going to be in the mix with that, which is why, we're walking down the street and we've got all of these people. April Patrice, we have all of these people calling us the N-word and everything else. What is I can't, the one thing that I do like about the one that Stephanie uses is that she can search on people. Let's see what April is saying. Is she still in here? I'm happy for you, sweetheart. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I said, if your country is not serving you well, then leave. If your country is not treating you well, then leave. If you love it,
Hey, stay.
stay. But there is such a good life out there. It is a whole big wide world where you're not black, you're just American. You're just American first, right? There's some class stuff going on and everything else, but all that nonsense, if you like the fact that women now are forced to, yes, it is going to get worse worldwide, but it's not going to get worse in every single country. It is not. That's why I said we are looking at countries that are militarily and will stay militarily neutral and not get into trade wars. Hey, Harry Chu, Michelle. No, I don't think so. Gold is gold. That's something tangible. And look, Harry, I don't understand crypto. I keep saying that. I don't understand it. And if I don't understand it, I'm not going to spend my money on it. When I ran for office, I met with all of these crypto lobbyists, one after the other, after the other, after the other, to get a thorough understanding of crypto. And none of them could tell me how and why at that point, because this was 2016, how or why a country would give up control of their currency, or a conglomerate like the EU would give up control of their currency for crypto. None of them could explain to me why a country would do that, or if or when, or if they've heard of a country thinking about doing it. Now we know one decided for a little bit to add it to their other currency. Billionaire Black Girl, hey, new name, welcome. I like that name. I love that name. I'm gonna put it up. Exactly. I've been praying on this. I'm selling everything, investing, and get out. Good, billionaire Black girl. I love it. I love it. So you need to put a Q in front of your question. I just happened to see this. Do you think China will crash out our debt to them and while Trump is in office? Maybe. Maybe. See,
What do you
here,
mean, cash out her debt?
that's what I assume she meant that. Or he. The thing about it is, so y'all know, like, he's going to run up the debt and the deficit. You cannot take in less income and have the same bills and think you're going to be in good shape, right? Like, if you tried to do that, if you say, I'm just going to spend, but I'm not making any more money, that never leads to a good place. It never leads to a good place. Yeah, April, I don't see blacks preying on black. I see just the opposite. I see just the opposite. I see us coming together. So you might want to leave. In this place, we support one another, okay? In our Black Utopias community, Black people support Black people. We do not believe in competition. We believe in collaboration, okay? That's what we are all about. My father was there in the room when they were creating Kwanzaa. That's what I'm about, all right? So I'm not the one. Does Mauritius have hurricanes? That's a good question, Jacqueline. I don't know. I don't know. We need to do our Googles on that. Kofi investing for retirement. I like that name. How's the job market in these countries for Black people? We're not, okay, you got to put a Q in front of it. I just happened to see it because you're a new name. Welcome. We are not suggesting that you should go to these places and try to find a job. Okay. What we are suggesting is that you, for today, for now anyway, that you make US dollars. And then, except for the first one that we mentioned was for the ballers, that you make US dollars and then you go to a place, with a lower cost of living. That's what we are suggesting. Okay. So that you can get some peace of mind and not have to hustle and grind, hustle and grind. Black people have been hustling and grinding and working twice as hard to get half as much our entire lives. It is time for rest. It is time for rest. We want that for you, okay? We want that for you. So even if you have not, babies, you guys are not putting these Q's in front of the question. Put a Q in front of your question or comment. Even if you have not saved as much money as you need to, you may be, if you can make the same amount of money that you're making now and, start bopping around the world, it truly, truly is. It truly, truly is a better life abroad, and you can travel around the world and live for less money. Totally awesome. There's mixed reviews on that. Now, some of our friends who are going, they're like, I ain't getting no shots. I got some shots. I got a typhoid shot and I got a tetanus shot, and the tetanus still hurts. It's not like a bunch of shots.
Yeah, I didn't get a bunch of shots.
Yeah, he only had to get the typhoid, because we already had the hepatitis and all of that stuff before. We had those shots before, so I'm getting the questions. Does Malaysia have a retirement visa? No, just the digital nomad visa. And then that like pseudo golden visa. Um, Kamal McLaren, the song is Stand Up by Lucius.
Get rid of KP.
KP, I hope and pray that you get every single
Everything that
thing
you
you
want.
voted for. I want that for you. I really want that for you. Good luck and God bless. Good luck and God bless.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. Look, I'm telling you, it's not just Black folks. It's not just Black folks who are moving. It is not just Black folks. There are a lot of folks. Everyone that we know is getting bombarded with information. I think it's very telling that the searches that happened on January 6th were, what is Project 2025? What is a tariff? And can I change my vote? All of these people, they're like 25,000 women in Texas have had to bear their rapist babies. But y'all pro-life. You're pro-life. Those same people are trying to get rid of SNAP benefits, Section 8, and all of that. And of course, Texas and all of those, well, maybe not Texas, but the rest of them could not afford it without California, New York, Chicago, et cetera. They could not afford to give Section 8 and none of that stuff because they don't bring in enough money. If Republicans are so great at economics, why are all the red states poor? Why are all the red states poor? But they're so great at economics. See, we don't use logic. We don't use critical thinking. They always want to say all of the cities with Democratic mayors are dangerous and this and that. No, cities are more dangerous because there's more people. Duh. And y'all got all them damn guns. This one's not dangerous. You can walk around the street at nighttime in Lisbon, and 9 times out of 10, well, 99.9% out of 100 times, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. All right. In 2022, we had 84 murders, and more than half of them were domestics. 84. Y'all have had 84 murders today in America, right? That's what y'all want to stay for? I can't tell you how many times we've had people, clients talk to us and say, so how do I bring my gun? Baby, you ain't bringing no gun here. You are not bringing a gun here. That's not a thing here. Can you provide the single barrel numbers for the pensioners? So that was Monaco. For a single person, $1,867 without rent. But then the rent is like $4,000 to $5,000. No, $5,000 basically, $5,000 to $5,500. So you got to be bringing in almost $100,000 a year for Monaco. But some of y'all got it that way, right? Libria Jones is the remote work queen. She's a 6-figure person. So if you want extra help with remote work, she also spoke at the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit last year, which we are offering to the All Access Pass people for the replays this year. But check out her channel, Libria Jones. Check out her channel. Didn't you? No, I didn't say that. It's Morocco. Morocco has colorism problems. But no, I didn't say that about Monaco. It's a rich people haven. Usually rich people are like, they don't care.
They don't care.
I went to Beverly Hills High School, y'all. I went to Beverly Hills High School. And back in the day when I went, now everything has gotten kind of crazy now. But back in the day when I went, the rich people, let me tell you, they're like, I got mine. They were not worried about me, oh, hey, Halisi, where we going? Where are we going? Shoot. But the people that I know who went to predominantly white schools in the middle class to poor neighborhoods, now they got decimated. They got decimated. They came back talking crazy. Like when we would meet at the mall on Saturdays and I'd hear them, I'm like, what happened to you? But I went to Beverly Hills High. I was fine. People were cool. They were cool. Which countries are best for African Americans? And so all of these places that we have listed, we have looked to make sure that we see Black people living their best lives in these places. Okay. So all of the places that we have mentioned, that is the case. We're always going to put that on our list. We're always going to look for places that we see people have come before you and are living a good life. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. G, for the question. This seems like a new name. Can I get a reasonable apartment in Saldana for under 2,000? One bedroom, yes. Yeah, we know someone who just got one for under 2,000, but it's only a one bedroom. But it's totally renovated. They've taken out the walls, semi open concept, which our apartment is not. And so they have modernized it quite a bit. He's got a lovely view and all of that. I wouldn't want to pay that, but not for one bedroom. But yeah, Malta was my initial choice for retirement out of the U.S., but there is no path for citizenship. Was there no path to citizenship? I didn't see that.
Malta.
Yeah, here, I'll leave this on where we're left off if you want to look for that. For residency, you are required to either buy or rent property. Was that Malta or was that?
Digital nomad visa.
Yeah, you got to buy. You've got to buy. It's only the digital nomad visa. But if you do, if you can do the digital nomad visa for 5 years, it says naturalization typically requires 5 years of residence. So triple check that, Pinky. If you love Malta, triple check that. Our friend lived in Malta for a year, and his friend who's Black was already there, and he loved it. He loved it. And he's a young Black man. And he looks Black. Like he's not like so fair that you wouldn't know. Is Ireland as pricey as Switzerland? Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. Switzerland is out of control. Switzerland, don't even show up if you're not bringing in $100,000 a year. Don't even show up. Are there any issues with electronic funds transfers to countries outside of the US? I haven't had any. I'm not sure where I'm going. Just know I'm leaving Memphis and the US. A lot of people use Wise. It used to be called TransferWise. But they now, when I was looking, they didn't have a banking arm, but it appears that they now have a banking arm because transferring money, when I was going to use Wise, I was like, oh, hell no. Right now, I just wire. I am going to look into Wise. I just haven't made it a priority, but I know a lot of people who use Wise. It would only be an issue with a country. Now, I've heard we had somebody who emailed us who was living in Russia, and he did actually have issues. They stopped sending his Social Security check, depositing it in that Russian bank, which is why for now we are leaving all of our, not all of our banking, but some of our banking in the United States. My plan, I turned 65 in December. Congratulations. I start my private pension in January 2025. Very happy for you. I will activate my Social Security at 67. My 401k is healthy. All right, TW.
Yeah.
No mortgage, no debt. All right. All right. Smarter than us.
Okay.
Move to Spain in 2025. I will avoid the flood zones. Yeah, that was really, really sad. That was really, really sad. So we really like Spain. It's a lovely place in general. We have some acquaintances that live in Sevilla.
Sevilla, yeah.
Yeah, and they love it. They love it.
Which is close to us. Sevilla's not far from us.
No, it's not far. We need to go visit them. Does the cost of energy spike in Ireland due to the weather? I would assume so. I would assume so.
Yeah, you would think.
It spikes here, right? It doesn't spike. They're not charging us more per usage, per unit. They're not, they don't do that. They don't price gouge here. But I'm using the heater more, so I'm going to be paying more. I don't think they would price gouge in Ireland, but you can Google that, CK. Most of Western Europe are socialist democracies, right? And so there's only so much capitalistic nonsense they can do. They're still capitalists, but there's socialist democracy. They have universal health care, right? The universities are highly subsidized. So, like, you can get a BA degree here for under $6,000 for the whole thing, not per year, for the whole thing. You can get a master's here for about the same price, right? You can get a master. You can get your BA in Germany for free. You can, right? Like, even the UK. Our friend got his master's in the UK, and I want to say it was like 3 or 4 thousand pounds at the time, and that was just a few years ago. So these are socialist democracies in that they have some things that they believe is for the common good, and the government does highly subsidize them. How is the transportation in each of these cities you listed? We didn't list cities. I'm a tall boy. We listed countries. Most people don't drive manual shifts. My daddy said, if you can't drive a manual, you can't really drive. That's what my daddy said. And so he made me learn and what is public transportation to get around. So most other countries have better public transportation than they do in the United States. I did notice that in Mauritius, they drive on the wrong damn side of the street, just like they do in South Africa. So that's a thing. I did not see a lot of public transportation on the island. They probably do have
I'm
buses,
sure they have buses.
but I didn't see any metros or trams or things like that or rail. But it's an island, right? I think it's about 3 hours from end to end driving. As far as Europe goes, Europe has great public transportation, right? And then the ones that we're going to mention next, we will talk about that. We've got 3 more to go, y'all. 3 more to go. Regarding Ireland, will the retirement visa grant one access to health care? That's a good question. I would say yes. Most of the residence programs in Western Europe give you access to their healthcare system. Now, in Spain, they make you wait for a year.
For a year.
However, private insurance is a lot less expensive here because they know that there is the public healthcare system. And so even the people that we knew in Spain and that we know in Spain, not just the acquaintances, but we spent almost a month there in Girona, and we hung out with there were expats upstairs, and so they would come get us for the meetups. And so in talking to them, that's how we learned that they had to wait a year. But even still, they were telling us how inexpensive the private healthcare insurance was, and how great the healthcare system was. So, and I would say that is true for most of Western Europe, if not all. In researching the country you're interested in, please research the healthcare options. Yes, most are less expensive than in the US and better quality of care. Even if you pay out of pocket, y'all. Yeah. Even if you pay out of pocket, it is like there is no comparison.
Yeah, way more affordable.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, one of our friends is in the hospital, and when her wife wanted to stay, they rolled a cot into that room. Now, they'll always do that for a mom or dad, right, with a kid, but they did that for a spouse, right? That's how they roll here. That's how they roll. So Nichelle says that's the reality, especially of many self-employed folks. Increase your income, decrease your expenses, right? I'm not interested in a roommate. Southeast Asia works for me in the short term, right? Do what you got to do, Nichelle. There is always a way. There's always a way. And most of the people that I see that are in Malaysia and Thailand and one other place, not Vietnam, the Philippines, are having the time of their life. Question: are you concerned that Biden just authorized Ukraine to attack targets in Russia with U.S. long-range missiles? Do you co-sign?
Co-sign nothing, but Ukraine has a right to defend itself.
I don't have an opinion. I saw Ukraine keeping Black people off of the buses and trains when they were trying to escape, keeping the Black immigrants.
But they still, to me, have a right to defend themselves. I don't co-sign it. If you don't want them to use the missiles, don't give the missiles to them, or don't sell or whatever.
Putin's going to do what Putin's going to do. Putin is a fascist. And he destroyed the fragile democracy of Russia and created an oligarchy, which is what his friend Trump is trying to do, right? It's like Trump said, he wants to be a dictator on day one or for a day. But what dictator is a dictator for just a day? right? He wants that. He wants that because his little bitty ego can't take anything more, anything less.
And I definitely
Yeah,
don't co-sign
but
that.
and this is irrelevant to the conversation,
Yeah, it
Harry.
is.
It is irrelevant. This is not a political channel, but we take politics and then we say, what are the implications for African Americans and other Black people from the diaspora? All right, but this is not a political channel. The big money people haven't exactly switched their bucks to crypto, so I don't invest in what I don't understand. The premiums for both my car insurance, full coverage plus uninsured, and you're right, all the crap you got to have, and renter's insurance blew up from $1,785 in 2020. Oh my gosh, to $2,334 in 2025. I'm sorry, Pinky. And I know it's out of control. It is out of control. Roth IRA is after tax. Yep. After tax, but still tax deferred on the growth. Yes, the webinar was free. Okay. And I agree, round up to make sure you don't come up short. That's right. Just thought the extra info about future increase would be helpful to people. Absolutely, Pinky. We love you. Absolutely. We appreciate you. Are you allowed to work if you want? So here, yes, we are allowed to work if we want. We don't want. I don't want to get into the Portuguese uh, work system. No way, and we don't need to. Um, so we did talk about the digital nomad visas. Again, you're not going to these places to find a job because if there is a lower cost of living, it is probably because on average they have lower salaries, right? You saw what the minimum wage here is like 850 euro per month. The average Portuguese person makes about 1,500 euro per month. And so just add about 7% onto that and you can get the dollars. All right. And so, you know, you want to take your American money to a lower cost of living. Does the transfer of USD to euro work like dollar cost averaging, wherein you break even with consistent bi-monthly transfers? It could. It could. But look, the euro, the conversion rate at some points have been like 64 cents to the euro, CK. When we first moved here, it was 1 euro equal to dollar. Wait, we got $1 to euro for $1. So 1 euro, 2 cents for $1. So we were in the black, right? Now we're in the red where it had gotten down to like 89 cents to 90 cents to 1 euro. So when you see, when you see it drop, transfer a chunk. Because if you transfer like 3, 4, 5 months worth, then it doesn't feel like your rent is going up and down every other month. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why we try to keep 3, 4, 5 months worth of money in our Portuguese account so that, as the conversion rate goes up and down, we don't necessarily feel it. And so it is, I have to say the dollar is either stronger or the euro is weaker. It's all speculation, but that's what's happening right now. So we're about to transfer some money. All right, hide that one. Our Black Utopia, do you think waiting till June 2025 to move is too long to wait? I have kids and wanted them to finish the school year. Plus, it gives me time to plan and save. I First of all, new name, Cedrica. If I didn't pronounce it right, I'll call you Miss Dennis.
I don't think it's too long.
You said you thought day 2 the fit was going to hit the sham. This is when he gets in his melancholy mood. I don't think that.
I think he is going to do some stuff.
Oh, he's going to do something. I don't think that it's going to, like all of the stuff in Project 2025, it's not possible for it to happen in the first quarter of, first 3 or 4 months of his presidency, right? Some things can happen but I don't, I think you have, I say that to say, I think you have time. It's going to take a while and hopefully there'll be some pushback from his own people on some of these things. Okay. But we have to wait and see. If you want your kids to finish school, let your kids finish school. I Plan to get out as soon as possible, knowing that you want to wait until June 2025. If you look around and you say, you know what, this shit's getting kind of crazy, then you already have things in place. Okay. That's what I would do. But I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff is going to take years, to be perfectly honest. It is going to be interesting to see. I got my popcorn. What do you suggest a guaranteed residual stream of income? I'm partially retired, hubbing in Ghana and galvanizing across, or gallivanting. There we go, across the African continent. Good for you, Shay. Tell us about Ghana. Stop asking about shots. It's a scare tactic. Scare tactic. Look, I'm of a certain age, Shay, and I ain't trying to get sick. All right. So I think, look, as far as the shots and stuff like that goes, you want to be careful about making blanket statements because everybody has different medical issues where something could really be extreme. I have a trait of sickle cell. So some mosquito bites and things could be really bad for me. Right. Um, but if you're young and you're healthy, perhaps not. If you're older and very, very healthy and you don't have any pre-existings, perhaps not. But I do believe in science.
Talk to your
So,
doctor.
but I definitely, talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor,
doctor.
especially, well, I don't know about the doctors there, but the doctors here are pretty holistic and they don't just be prescribing stuff. Like you're not going to just get an antibiotic because you got a cough. All right. I have more prescriptions that are vitamins and minerals than I do for anything else. She's like, oh, this is low. I need you to take more of this vitamin. The vitamins that she gives me are created just for me and my blood results, my blood test results, right? You need more of this and more vitamin B, a little bit more vitamin K, and she puts the mixtures in and then the lab creates it just for me. So here in Portugal, they're very holistic. They're not just about the drugs like they are in the United States. So, but in any event, would love to hear about Ghana and a guaranteed residual stream of income. I don't think anything's guaranteed, Shay. Nothing's guaranteed. Not a pension, not a government pension, not an annuity, not residuals or dividends. There is no guarantee. So that's why you want to have multiple streams of income. We say this. You have diversification in your investments.
Yeah.
Had a brain fart there. You have diversification in your investments. You want to have diversified income streams. Okay. So, like, we have rental property, we have Social Security, and we have this YouTube channel. We also do meetups. We had the Move to Portugal Summit, and we do one on one coaching. And all of that work takes us about a maximum of 15 hours a week, maximum. And I like doing it. Like, we're having fun. Like, our YouTube channel is fun. We have made so many friends. And so for that, to me, it's kind of like a party. It's kind of like a party. But so we have 3 streams of income. So if one of them gets crazy, we've got another one. Plus, for those of you who are newer, we saved up 2 years living expenses before we made this move. Now, that's what we needed to feel comfortable. You may not need that much to feel comfortable, but that's what we needed to feel comfortable. And that's over and above our retirement accounts and our brokerage account. That's over and above that, because your emergency fund, whether you have it in CDs, high yield savings account, money market account, that's money that you will need in the first 1 to 3 to 4 years. Investments, that investment money is what you need 5 years from now, right? So whatever money you're putting away in your investments, you want it to stay there and grow. And then, you use your emergency fund. It can grow a little bit to try to keep up with inflation with laddered CDs or something like that. But so yeah, you definitely need multiple streams of income because you cannot depend on one indefinitely. There was a time we could, but not today. Hey, Mr. P Man, Regan Alisi, do you say that you follow Stephen Nduku? I remember correctly, he stayed in Mauritius earlier this year or last year. He reported the island is not very Black friendly. No, I don't
I
follow
don't
him,
follow him.
but we will check it out. I was looking at other folks who had been there, um, um, or who did a digital nomad type of stay there and loved it. So I think, and he sounds African. You know how folks are. I'm going to tell you, the African immigrants that are here in Portugal, and there black people have been here in Portugal for generations, right? Since the 1600s, 1400s. They do not have the same experience that English speaking black people have. I'm going to be honest. All right. We have privilege here, and I know it. I see it. And I have friends that are not English speaking. Well, they speak English now, otherwise I wouldn't be able to communicate with them, but that's not their native tongue. And they have a little bit of a different experience. Sometimes they have a bigly different experience. So part of it is class, right? And then part of it is racism. Anti-blackness and racism is
It's
everywhere.
global.
Anti-black American is global. There are people on probably in every single country on the continent that are anti-black American. So you're never going to get 100% away from it.
Mm.
And it's so crazy to me because we create the culture of the planet. When I see these kids doing this dancing and stuff from Africa to Asia to Europe to South America, and it's all our dance, it's all our stuff. It's crumping and stuff like that we created. And and then they turn around and talk crap about Black Americans, and then they're rapping in their own language, and then they turn around and talk crap about Black Americans. It's just so crazy to me. People are people. What can you do? All right. No stuff in storage. No stuff in storage. If you're going to do the digital nomad thing because you want to get out faster than you thought you were going to get out, you might have to put stuff in storage. I would put as little as possible. I would put as little as possible. We have to let go of stuff and really think about our relationship with stuff. Okay. Stuff is just stuff. And I know we attach some kind of emotional sentiment to it and this and that and the other. But, I have a few things like I've got my grandma's little, charm and her necklace. I have a few things that I actually use or wear, right? But a lot of the things we have left behind, we gave away, we threw away. Books, 90% of my books went to Goodwill. I kept the ones on that, I kept my favorites, the ones on racism and things like that, the ones that were signed to me, and Harry Potter. Yeah, I said it. I'm admitting it. I'm admitting it. I've been fortunate to have worked with, lived next door to, attended school with, dated, and been befriended by people from all over the world. Haven't traveled, but feel like I have. That's one of the great things about living in major cities in the States, and I miss that. Denver is a little bit more homogenous, a lot more homogenous than LA. And when I go back to LA and I sit and see tables full of all of these different folks with different color skin, it warmed my heart and I missed it and I didn't realize it. I see that here too. But it's usually people from the continent or, from the diaspora and European Portuguese, as opposed to we have a lot of Southeast Asians, but I don't see them. The kids, yes, intermingle, but adults not as much. Probably because they don't speak Portuguese and the kids do. Thank you, Yakota. How's Peter doing?
Hey,
So
thanks, Dakota.
again, all of our super chat, super sticker, and super thanks money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom course for late bloomers. So we thank you so, so much. Yakota was out here for our meetup last June. Our next meetup is the Monday and Tuesday of Juneteenth week. And, if you can come a week before, June is the month of popular saints, and there are street festivals everywhere for weeks. It is so much fun. It is so much fun. All right. What about no tax on Social Security?
What about it?
I'm not sure, Kofi, what you're asking about. It depends on the country whether they're going to tax it or not. And for digital nomads, 9 times out of 10, there's not going to be a tax. But if you're talking about residency, it depends. Like if you're in Mexico, they're not going to tax it. If you're in Portugal, they're going to tax it. Okay. So it just depends. That's when you start doing your Googles. This list is meant to start you off, okay? Because it is just the bare minimum. There's so much more. If you get the Move Abroad Toolkit, it has 2 pages of questions that you have to ask yourself, okay? And the Move Abroad Toolkit is in the description below, underneath the description of this video. There's a lot more resources down there as well. Books on investing that we have read, all sorts of information. All right. Do you think that 30 days is too much time for a scouting trip to Portugal? That's what we did, Kenneth. What, Rick?
No.
Strong opinion.
If you can stay as long as you can, stay as long as you can. If you can stay 90 days, stay 90 days.
If you were talking about moving to a new country across the pond, you want to make sure and you want to mimic everyday life. This is like when we did our scouting trip, we did it for a month. And this was June 2022. And we stayed for a month. We stayed in an Airbnb. We stayed in a very working class neighborhood on the other side of the river, where people don't speak as much English as they do on this side. And what we tried to do was mimic how our life would be on a daily basis. We did a couple of touristy things. We did a tour here. We went to Sintra to try to see the castles and stuff like that. We went to the beach down in Cascais and Costa de Caparica, but in general, we did life. We washed clothes. We went to the grocery store. We went to the pharmacy. We looked for hair care products, et cetera, right? These are the things that you want to do. I knew right away there wasn't going to be no grits, right? Now, actually, there are grits here. They're just yellow grits. They're more like polenta, but my friends cook them up, and I cannot taste the difference. They're lovely. So, but yeah, you want to do life. So
spend as much time as you can wherever you're going to be.
Absolutely. Okay, this one, and then we were going to get back to the last 3 on our list. Do these countries tax your pensions and IRAs? So I don't know, Kofi. So this is something that you will have to Google. For a digital nomad, chances are no. But as a resident, you have to see what the tax treaties are. Every country is different. And so, as we said, Mexico, that's a no. Portugal, if it's a government pension, no. If it's a private pension, yes. If you're withdrawing money and it's dividends, maybe. I can't remember what he said, actually. Since we're not withdrawing any, I kind of didn't pay attention. But again, if Portugal's the place, we have a tax person that you can talk to so that you can help make up your mind. But this is definitely something that you need to Google, and it will be different for every single country. And if the country does not have a tax treaty, there is a chance for double taxation. However, it depends on how much money, because you get a foreign income tax credit from the United States if you are a United States citizen. I'm assuming that you are. Most people are. Some are from Canada and babies. I don't know that. Some are from the UK. I don't know that. But for the United States, I think it's $125,000 you can make out when you're living outside of the United States, and the United States will not tax it. Now, you make $1 over that, they're going to tax that dollar. $2 over that, they're going to tax those $2, right? So that's how that goes. All right. And we pray that you get everything that you voted for. Every single thing. There's just going to be so much winning. You just going to get tired of winning, Lamont. You're going to get tired of winning. When those police have immunity and they get to do whatever they want to do, and nobody can put them in jail because it's immunity, we're going to be doing so much winning.
And guess what? It don't make a difference if you voted for him or not.
That's the sad part. As the Black woman mortality rate goes up with childbirth, right? Because they're letting women bleed out when they have miscarriages, we're going to be doing so much winning. Goodbye. These people, these people, like read a book, read a book. Don't come to me with that nonsense. Read a damn book. All right, that's where we left off. So we left off at 10:26. All right, we're going to get to the last three so we can let you all go because I know we're at 2 hours. And okay, we are going too long.
2.5 hours.
Oh, Lord. All right. Y'all know these places. Number 13, these are the easy ones. If those other places like islands off of Africa and moving all the way to Europe or moving to Malaysia was like, okay, that's cute, Halisi, but damn, my family's here. I need to get back from time to time, blah, blah, blah. Mexico. We love Mexico. And you know, we have permanent residency in Mexico. So we have permanent residency in Mexico. We have temporary residency in Portugal. And we're probably going to get temporary residency or permanent. We'll see what we can get in Panama. Choices, y'all. Choices. And all of these places are neutral. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for countries that are going to stay out of this westernized war nonsense. All right. So we want you all to be safe and happy and living life outside of persecution. And so these are the countries that we are suggesting. And Mexico. The one good thing about Mexico is they do not tax your income. So for a family of 4 in Mexico, it's going to cost you $2,217.
Mm-hmm.
And for a single person?
For a single person, it is going to cost you $613.70.
All right. And so again, these are average prices. These are not CDMX prices. These are not Mexico City prices, y'all. All right. These are not Mexico City because I don't know if Adelia's still in because she's going to say, oh, no. But 1 bedroom in the city center is going to cost you about $605 per month. 1 bedroom outside of the city center?
$419.01.
There you go. 3 bedrooms. And okay, I'm going to stop right here because I know we have a lot of new people. Do not believe the hype about Mexico. It is not more dangerous. Every city in Mexico is not more dangerous than the cities in the States. Okay. If you get the Move Abroad Toolkit or the Ready to Retire Toolkit, Ready to Retire is free. Move Abroad Toolkit is a small fee. We have links to databases where you can look up the cities, and all of this is positioned comparing it to New York City. Now, if you're living in, Dallas and you decide to move to New York City, ain't nobody going to say, ooh, are you sure? It's kind of dangerous there. Now, if you're moving to the south side of Chicago, I'm not saying it's more dangerous, but the perception is that it is, right? Mm-hmm. And so in general, people don't say that, but you say Mexico and, ooh, what about the cartel? Okay, well, what about the mafia in New York? What about the mafia in Chicago?
What about the white supremacists?
What about all the white supremacists that are now emboldened and are marching around all bold out and carrying? What about that? Merida, Mexico is one of the safest cities in all of North America. Querétaro, San Miguel de Allende, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Tulum, even CDMX, Lake Chapala, Guadalajara, all of those places are safer than New York City. Okay, so don't believe the hype. 3 bedrooms in the city center is $1,155. 3 bedrooms outside of the city center,
$805.86.
I already know that you can live in Querétaro for under $1,500 a month. I already know that because y'all know we've had Querétaro on our list since the beginning, right? And still, so and we know we have friends that live in Querétaro, San Miguel de Allende, CDMX, Guadalajara, Merida, and they are loving their lives, y'all. They are loving their lives. All right, so visa free. We can just show up. We can just show up, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to get 6 months. You're going to get a 6-month tourist visa. Now, the one thing about Mexico is technically you're not supposed to do this, but everybody does it. You can make a border run. You can make a border run, go home, visit mom, take care of some stuff, do some things. 4 days later, go back and get another 6 months. But getting residency is not that hard. It's like, it was a breeze compared to Portugal. Yeah. Because the only thing that you need is a certain amount of money and a letter of intent for the most part. That's all you need. And then you can get temporary residency. They gave us permanent residency because we were retired. So Mexico is easy and we love Mexico. All right. Second to the last is
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Now, the great thing about Costa Rica, and I think Panama as well, and Mexico, didn't they say Costa Rica as well? You don't have to stay in country?
No, you don't have to.
I think that's what they said,
Yeah.
right? So these three, Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama, you don't have to be in country to get residency a certain amount of time. So, for instance, here in Portugal, we have to remain in country for at least 8 months out of a 2-year period. Okay, we travel a lot, but we have to be in country at least 8 months out of a 2-year period. And then when we renew, it's 8 months out of a 3-year period, or we cannot be gone 6 consecutive months out of the 2-year period or 3-year period. Mexico, we got our green card and we could have left. We stayed for a month, but we could have left. Costa Rica, I believe, is the same thing. And I remember that Panama is definitely the same thing. So in Costa Rica, a family of 4 has an estimated monthly cost of
$3,202.80
without rent and $877 for a single person without rent. Now, Costa Rica is the most expensive of the ones in North America. So y'all know that Central America is not a continent. So Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama are all considered on the continent of North America. And if I'm wrong about that, Adelia, the geography teacher, let me know. All right, apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, city center is
$757.48.
outside of the city center, $530. 3-bedroom apartment, city center,
$1,483.23.
That says 63, baby.
Oh,
You need more medicine.
probably.
Outside of the city center is $1,013.
Oh, you got me.
I know you don't have on your same glasses. So again, if you're from the US, UK, EU, you can arrive and get a tourist visa on demand, but for Costa Rica, it's 90 days. And it's the same thing: passport, onward travel, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, we didn't do that one.
Yeah, I did it.
Oh, okay.
You were looking at your glasses. So residency options. They have a pensionata program. That's for retirees with a monthly. You only have to be bringing in $1,000 a month, y'all. $1,000 a month. That is the monetary qualification. Rentista program, you have to deposit. This is kind of like a golden visa. You have to deposit $60,000 for a 2-year stay. That's if you're not, a retiree.
Mm-hmm.
Investor visas, only $150,000 in real estate. Here in Portugal,
or
it was
business.
Or a business. Here in Portugal, it was $500,000 when we had the golden visa. So that's not bad for an investor visa. And then naturalization is possible after 7 years of residency. That too is not bad because Spain is 10 years. Here in Portugal, it's 5 years. All right. And then the last but not least is
Panama.
Panama was never on my list because tropical. And I don't like humidity and heat. But when I heard that you could get residency and you don't have to stay in country, and then we have acquaintances like Charlotte down there and a few other people who are living their best lives, and they have a strong Black English speaking community as well as, friends, native Panamanians. I was like, okay, the culture is probably on point. And so as a good alternative, Panama's on the list. I'll just have to suck up the heat and get used to it and put lots of bug spray on because those mosquitoes love them.
I was shocked. She said Panama.
Because you don't have to remain in country. And it's a neutral country. So, that's what I like. So for a family of 4, an estimated monthly cost is
$2,730.20. Euro. I have euro.
I have dollars.
Oh,
I know, $2,878 a month. And then for a single person, I switched it around on him, y'all. I'm sorry. And then for a single person, it's $799 a month, again, without rent. You can get a 1-bedroom apartment city center.
$825.
And only $609 outside of the city center. And then 3-bedroom city center.
$1,797.45.
So that's about what you would pay here, depending, but it's probably a lot more modern than here because Panama is newer, right? Outside of the city center, $1,100. So, I think, and here's the thing with these numbers, y'all, with all of the numbers, a lot of times, especially when you're talking about residency, your first year is going to be the most expensive. I remember our immigration specialist saying this to us when I told her how much we were going to be paying for rent. She's like, you'll be paying less by year 2. And we were. And we were like €300 a month less. All right. So keep that in mind. Okay. They have, again, you get 90 days as soon as you arrive, and it's the same requirements. For residency, they have a friendly nations visa, fast track residency for citizens of 50 years old plus from approved countries, which of course the United States is one of them.
Mhm.
It requires a local bank deposit and investment or employment. But they also have the Pensionata program. Now, their Pensionata program is robust. You only need $1,000 a month coming in, and then also it gives you discounts at a lot of different places.
Yeah.
So they are really trying to encourage retirees to come to Panama. And so that is our list. So on your side of the world, we had Panama, Costa Rica, and Mexico. And then in Asia, we had Malaysia. In Africa, we had Seychelles and where Mauritius. And then in Europe, we had Ireland and Malta and Monaco.
For the ballers.
Yes, so that is our list. Hey, Fila Speaks. Let me go over there. I can click this. We've already living in 2025. Asked Javian McGee, the Trump fear mongering is distasteful, and that's why it was a landslide. It wasn't fear mongering, Fila. It was not fear mongering. You read Project 2025. And what's funny is they were saying on Fox News on November 6th, they were saying, I mean, this is a man who created an insurrection. An insurrection. If that was a Black Lives Matter protest gone wrong,
they'd have been shot.
50% of those people would have been shot. You know that. And if you don't, you're lying to yourself. So that's number one. Number two, he said, oh, I've never heard of Project 2025. Anytime there's something crazy, he's like, I never heard of that. I have no idea. I have no idea who Epstein is, really, because you're in a lot of pictures and videos with him.
That's your boy.
I have no idea who Stormy Daniels is, really, because you gave her money to shut up. I have no idea what Project 2025 is. The day after the election, they were on Fox News, and all of his little minions were on there saying, trick. Yeah, it is Project 2025. Agenda 47 and Project 2025 are the same thing. And yeah, we were just kidding. This is exactly what we're going to do. So download the 900 pages and read it. And if you're good with that, I'm happy for you.
You're good with it.
I'm not into police having immunity. I'm not into that. I'm not into the United States having a ban on healthcare, on reproductive health care, you know? Like as I've said before, if you have a miscarriage, the solve for that is called an abortion.
Don't get mad and protest.
Yeah, I tell you, Black women won't be out there with you. That's what's not going to happen. That's what's not going to happen. Y'all on your own. We tired. We did our part. We voted for democracy. And it's not fear-mongering. It's truth. It is truth.
And hell, you should be afraid. Very afraid.
Mm-hmm. There is a reason why no one from his cabinet is coming back besides Steve, I've been in jail Bannon. Why are we talking about a 34-count felon? Why do you all think that that is a good thing? Why? He is a felon. That man owes about $700 million to people. He is a felon. He is a cheat. He is a con artist. And y'all fell for the con. You fell for the con.
You're still falling for a con. But some people ain't.
Every place is racist, Pam. Every place is racist. All right. Every place is anti-black, just some more than others. Um, I did not feel the racism in Spain, but I saw some things that I could not identify. I know black people who live there and are having the time of their
Yeah.
lives. A person has to go and experience it for themselves, because wherever we go, there we are, right? And so some of it is going to be our perception and some of it is going to be real. Now, we have another friend who said he was called the N word. Okay, well, we call the N word in the United States as well. So I suggest, Portugal is our place. We feel comfortable here. We feel welcome here. We like the culture. There's tons more diversity, and I love that for us. We have a huge Black English speaking community. I love that for us. We have a great relationship with the other Portuguese speaking folks from the diaspora, where we do language exchanges and we have meetups all the time, and a thriving WhatsApp group chat where we're sharing information and stuff. And some are speaking in Portuguese and some are speaking in English. And I love that for us. But yeah, every place is not for everybody, right? And Cabo Verde, I'm not sure what Paola's talking about. HX Re, and we are wrapping up, folks. If you are watching this from the future, you're going to have to just put it on and go about doing your chores while you listen to 2.5 hours. But hopefully you find this information good. If so, please hit that like button, smash that like button so that YouTube will send this to other folks like you who may need it, right? Just saying. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nubian Messiah, like that name. Black Tails, put your kids in virtual school. Yeah, we do have, that's another thing. We do have a family that her son, because they travel a lot, their son is in online school out of the United States, and it's free from the state that they come from. If you're from Colorado, it's free as well. And I think it's free if you're from Texas. Hmm. I have no idea. I don't like blaming things on immigrants, though. Um, you know, if you let folks in, then you build the infrastructure to maintain it. Immigrants pay taxes and they pay into the Social Security system in the United States, and they pay even undocumented, and they pay in the Medicare system, and they will never get that money back. They will never qualify, right? By the time, if any of them become naturalized, they will not have put enough in the system as a naturalized citizen to ever reap it. So in the United States, the notion that it is the immigrant's fault is just that, it's just a notion. The public healthcare system here is strained as well. And that's why they require all immigrants to have private insurance. So maybe that's what Canada should do. And we feel like we are not coming here to put a strain on their resources. And so the only time we would use the public system is in a car accident or some such event like that. I see, Michael. I see you. I think I'm going to have to remember to start changing our settings. It's interesting. It's interesting after November 6th, all of these folks are showing up to talk shit. Like, here's the thing for all of you who want to be contrarian and who are who want to argue with us on politics. All you're doing is helping us make more money, right? You know that, right? Because when the chat is chatting, YouTube says, oh, this is something that has high engagement. Let's show it to more people, which means we make more money. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you think you're doing. I'm just not sure. All right. Pacific Northwest, does Mexico tax IRA distributions? No, they don't. They don't tax. Um, Rapper MD, trying to get all of these, y'all. And then when we answer these, that's going to be it. So you better get your questions in now because I'm going through. And after that, we out. We out. High Vibe. Hey, High Vibe. Haven't seen you in a minute. Okay, Rapper MD's asking some questions. I know why, because you in Texas, huh? And they paid money to ask a question. I love it. I love it. Age limit for pensionata. Was there an age limit? I think it's 50.
50 plus.
I think it's 50 plus for Panama. But let me triple check. Let me see if it's on here. Yeah, 50 plus. Doodaloo. Hi, Edward. That it was an insurrection. Yes, it was. Goodbye. Yeah, I just to let y'all know, I'm not the one. I am not the one. I'm not going to sit here and argue with nonsense and people who are living in another universe. These are the same people talking about the earth is flat and there's no such thing as racism. These are the Candace Owen type people. Y'all, black people in the chat talking about Trump, you're Candace Owens. That's who you are. That's who you are. You are Clarence Thomas.
Mushmouth. What was Tim Scott?
Right? Tim Scott. All you guys want to get next to them. They are never going to accept you. They are never going to accept you. You guys are kidding yourself. We for those of you, especially some of these black folks, is like my parents were in the movement, right? They are never going to accept you. What they told us, get a degree, got a degree. I have a master's degree, yet an average white person, white male with an AA degree with 2 years of college makes more money than the average black woman with a master's degree. But there's no racism. There's no racism. So we get the degrees, we straighten our hair, we keep our pants up, we keep our nose clean, and we still do not have equity. So miss me with that. You want to vote for the same person who the KKK, the Nazis, and the Proud Boys vote for? Go for it. We see what happened with that black guy, right? They kicked his ass out. You see what happened with the Cuban guy. They shot a gun in the air and said, get your spick kids away from our kids. But I voted for Trump. I don't care. Get your spick kids away. So, y'all live in La La Land if you want to. You go up to Massa. Hey, Massa, can I have a job?
No, go to one of them sundown towns. See how you like that.
See how you like it. We done been here for a minute. Like I said, we did not have the right to vote when we were born.
Wear your red hat.
Wear your red hat. Go out there and get in one of those marches and see how you were treated. As you say, Massa. Hi, Massa. I follow a couple on YouTube who retired and live in hotels abroad. Yeah, I saw them. What are the thoughts on that? Look, we've seen people who live on cruise ships. Mm-hmm. Right? There, yes, you can live like the hotels that we're staying in Thailand are less expensive per week than our rent here. And you get room service. Now, I like to cook. Well, yeah, I like my own food. And I want to cook when I want to cook. And it's very rare that I go to a restaurant and I don't bring home leftovers. Excuse me. So a hotel would not work for me. But some people are about that life. Some people are like, look, I want to be waited on. I want somebody else to make up my bed every day and all of that. And if that's how you like to roll, I'm like, I want that for you. I want that for you. Trump's Bible leaves out Amendment 11 through 17. Do you think prioritizing a second passport is being paranoid? Hell no, Stephanie. And you need to do it before the United, because they're already talking about no dual citizenship. They're talking about that. The right wing is talking about that. So no. And I find it very interesting. They want to take away women's right to vote. This is in Project 2025. They want to penalize people who don't have kids. This is in Project 2025. But you know, these people, I hope they get every single thing that they voted for. I'm just says most red states do not have income tax. Whatever. Like, I really don't care why they don't have money. What I find hypocritical is that those governors know that they could not provide services for their people without the blue states giving them money. So they might not have income tax, but they have taxes. They have taxes. Like some states, they just fee you to death. Fees for this, fees for that, fees for this, fees for that, because they have to pay the people who work in government. They have to pay the police. They have to pay the firefighters. They have to pay the teachers. They have to pay the people who work in the libraries. Where's that money coming from? Where's it coming from? So higher property taxes, right? And fees. They're going to get their money. So it might not be an income tax. It's just going to be another tax. So if you live in New York, I would say get your residency in Florida before you leave, because they don't have income tax. You ain't there, so you're not there to get their services anyway. But now, at least, any income that you make abroad is not taxed at the state level. That's how we do it strategically, to take advantage of the fact that these people are trying to fool their own people. The property taxes in Texas and some of those places is out of control. And people are getting taxed on the gain on their houses in incredible ways when I did my research. So they're getting their money. We just want to move somewhere safe and quiet and affordable. We are so tired of all this, right?
Yeah.
Can we just breathe and not have to talk about this stuff anymore? Not have to talk about it. Y'all, this is our life. When we go out, we'll take a walk. There's no nonsense. We live across the street and around the corner from 3 different schools. An elementary school, a high school is right across the street, and the middle school is right down the street. We have yet to see a fist fight with these kids. We have yet to see it. And they're out, they have off-campus lunch. They go to the grocery store and buy, rotisserie chicken to share and this and that and the other. They go to the park. These are high school kids. They go to the park and they're playing like hacky sack soccer with their soccer ball. They're not just looking at their phones. The girls are dressed age appropriately without a bunch of makeup on. It's just a different vibe. It is a different vibe. Here in Portugal, they have kiosks at most of the parks where there are playgrounds. Those kiosks sell beer, wine, snacks, little appetizer snacks, as well as sandwiches like grilled cheese type sandwiches. They call them tostas here. And some of them even serve hamburgers and French fries. And you can get like hamburger, French fries, and a beer for like €5. While you sit there after work, have your snacks, have your beer, have your wine, and watch your kids play at the playground right there. That's Portugal. That's Portugal. It's safe. There's no guns. You have to go through a bunch of rigmarole to get a gun. If the U.S. falls, what happens to our pensions and Social Security? Exactly, Jewel. I don't know. They're already talking about cutting $2.3 trillion from the budget. Where do you think that money's going to come from? When Medicare and Social Security are the biggest part of the budget, and that is money that cannot be spent on anything else. I can't remember. I'm blanking on the exact term. Non-discretionary. That's non-discretionary, right? Because we have paid into it. We have paid into the trust through our hard labor, and they're taking money out of our checks, right? So where's that 1.2 trillion going to come from? The military? You think Elon Musk's gonna give up his contract? He got 2 contracts with the federal government. What is wrong with that picture? What's wrong with the picture? How can somebody with billion-dollar government contracts also spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to get his person elected to president, the person who's going to help be in charge of making sure he gets those contracts and gets them renewed? What is wrong with that picture? And whoever thinks that that's a good idea, look at Russia, because that's what an oligarchy looks like. Look at Hungary. He's trying to do the same thing. Let's see how that works out. Y'all, we have to prepare accordingly. Rick and I have been thinking about this. If his Social Security goes away, where is that other money going to come from? And we're working it out. We're working it out. When we come up with some ideas, y'all will know. What are your thoughts on African countries that are offering descendants that can show lineage to African country citizenship?
Go for it.
Well, first visit. First do a month or so scouting trip, okay?
Oh yeah, you want to check it out, but
yeah, look at the Move Abroad Toolkit. Go through the needs and wants list. Americans are kind of spoiled with some of these infrastructure things, all right? I can't move to a place that doesn't have strong internet. You know, I need air conditioning and heat, right? I need the lights to come on when they come on. That's one thing about South Africa that breaks my heart. The first time we were there, the electrical grid was fine. We went back just earlier this year, and there were rolling blackouts that we had to deal with. We were dealing with rolling blackouts while we were going live. I just can't.
yeah, check it out. Check it out. If you like it, go for it.
Yeah, that's the only thing about South Africa and its location on the planet. But the people, I really, really like the people. And so, yeah. But yeah, absolutely check it out. And if they'll offer you citizenship and you don't have to stay in country and you can bop around and do this and that, all the better. Because I tell you, the fall of Western of the Western powerhouse, the power is going to be with POC countries, including many countries on the continent of Africa. So we are looking for residency in an African country. We're just trying to figure out which one. And we want one that's going to be as stable, but as neutral as possible. So yeah, here's the thing about different countries, you guys. We're never going to tell you no, unless there's something specific that we know about it. That was just like, that's out of the frying pan into the fire. Because there is no one place for everyone. And we want you to find the place that speaks to your spirit, that speaks to your soul, that makes you, when you go there, you're like, I'm home. And that's what Portugal is for us. We're home. We're home for now anyway, right? And so we're never going to say no unless we know something crazy about it. You guys are a blessing. Oh, thank you, Stand Up and Speak Out. We really appreciate that. My partner and I are researching gay-friendly Black countries. Because of the way that we searched this, some of the countries were not showing up. But if you look at our best cities, any of our best cities videos, we always mention LGBTQ scores, okay? Portugal, Mexico, very LGBT friendly. Ireland, Western Europe is fine. Okay, Western Europe is fine. Some places in Africa could be problematic. South Africa is not problematic in that regard. Some South American countries are, but not Central America, not Costa Rica. There's just too many immigrants there, and so we know folks who are in the LGBTQ community in those places, and they say it's fine. Now, my partner and I are researching gay-friendly Black countries, came up with Curacao, and possibly South Africa. Okay, I just mentioned South Africa without even reading the rest. So Stephanie Perry spent 3 months in Curacao, and this is one of her favorite places. It's a Dutch island. It's part of the ABC Islands. It's right above Venezuela, so there's a lot of Spanish spoken there as well, interestingly enough. And it's outside of Hurricane Alley, is my understanding. It's a little bit more expensive, but she really, really liked it. So I would check it out. I would definitely check it out. Do you think countries will start turning American citizens away because they know we're fleeing? I think it's going to be a while before that. I mean, America still has a huge influence. And you hear these people in the chat. Some people, like I was talking to this Brazilian guy today, and he was like, "Oh, Trump's going to be great," and I'm like, "Dude, it's gonna like we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see if there's somebody who's going to put some guardrails around him. But for right now, the United States still does have one of the highest GDPs on the planet, right? And it still is kind of a money powerhouse, even though we're so in debt. So it's going to be a minute before that kind of stuff happens. And the people who are fleeing are usually the ones who are like not into all this violence, right? People who are staying are into the violence. People who are staying are into the hate. These people are so upset. It's like, y'all won. Why are you still upset? You still mad? You still cussing people out? Why are you mad? You won. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, where is the love? I will check again for Malta requirements. Yes, so far I've been only able to find that there are long-term residency programs without a path to citizenship if you are not an investor. We'll do some more checking too, Pinky, especially because you are a dedicated utopian. So we will do that. Any gay friendly and Black countries you suggest? So the ones that you mentioned, you know how Africa is, right? I I would say the island nations are probably gonna be a little bit more accepting. Um, I don't know about Ghana these days since they have been inviting so many Americans. I would look into that just in case. But yeah, South Africa. If Ashley in Africa is still in the chat, you can ask her about Tanzania. If she's not, go over to Ashley in Africa's page, YouTube page, and ask her about Tanzania. But some of the Central African countries, we mention them, but we say, like in one of those best cities videos, we say that their LGBTQ scores are not good. They're not good. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we don't get to go everywhere, right? And feel comfortable necessarily. But I would go and spend some time to check it out. You know, do you travel around with regular suitcases or large
No
trunks?
large trunks. Do not carry any large trunks in Europe.
Period.
Unless you plan on having shipping charges.
Totally awesome. We made that mistake.
Yeah, you don't want.
I was so miserable. The first time we went to South Africa, we overpacked. I mean, we were there for a month, but we overpacked. I don't know what I was thinking. We overpacked, and I didn't know about the suitcase weight. So, on the way there, I can't remember if we had to pay. I don't think we did. I think we got away with it. But when we went from Cape Town to Joburg, they were about to charge us, and I was like, "Wait, what? What?" And the sister said, "It's okay this time." So then I forgot about it. So then the next time we traveled and we were traveling around Europe, we had to ship stuff back. We were so American. We don't do that anymore. We try to stick to one suitcase a piece and a backpack, and that's it. No matter how long we're going, that's it. We traveled around for 3 months with one large suitcase, 2 carry-ons, and 2 backpacks for 3 months. Yeah, I ain't carrying a. You know how they say, ooh, that girl's got so much baggage. Well, physical baggage can weigh you down too, not just emotional baggage. Would you all recommend any countries in South America or maybe even Mexico? Okay, so we got to that. Maybe it was before, it wasn't until, or you asked this question before we got to Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama. In other videos, see, these countries are the countries that came up as neutral. All right. We have recommended Ecuador and Colombia a lot. So those are in our other videos if you want to go check those out. But they're not necessarily neutral. Uruguay is pretty neutral. Chile is pretty neutral. Chile's government is not as stable as I would like. Uruguay's is. I've heard. Yeah. So sorry I got cut off. Thanks again for all the valuable information that you share. You're welcome, Maria. I am curious about Uruguay, which I just mentioned. I hear there are no earthquakes or hurricanes there. Not surprising since it's so far down. I would like to scout there. Any info? I have a friend. He is a person of color, and he and his brother moved down to Uruguay, and he loves it. But that's the only person that I know who's in Uruguay. We were looking there at first, but again, Uruguay, South Africa, they're so far down there. If you want to travel a lot, um, now there that's for today. 5 years from now, we might be singing a different tune. Okay. But it's pretty there. It's definitely pretty there. The weather's good. The government is stable. The economy is decent to good. It's safe. So I would definitely check it out. But Uruguay did come up on the neutral list. It did. It didn't come up. It came up in another research that I did, but I didn't add it on to this one. So yeah, a Roth IRA growth is tax free if you're 59 and a half and your account is for 5 years. The growth is then tax free. I just thought it was deferred until you start taking it out. I just thought the gain was deferred, but you're saying it's tax free if you wait, Greta? Greta is one of our experts in our Fire Over 50 group. So when she talks, I listen. Rapper MD, your OBU family is taking care of the trolls for you. Thank you, Rapper MD. I want to take the time to thank you for taking the time for the research and giving this useful resource. Yes, and hit the like button. Thank you, Rapper MD. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And check out her YouTube channel. Check out her YouTube channel if you want to get healthier. And you're always in my brain. When I'm doing stuff, when I'm walking, when I'm not drinking enough water, when I'm using too much salt, you're in my brain. You are in my brain. I didn't undo something, did I? All right. Why are people, aka trolls, on this live who have no desire to leave, right? Like, why are they even wasting their time? They should spend their Sunday at the beach instead of worrying about what other folks are doing.
They can't help themselves.
Right? It's just so funny to me, Bella Chic. It is so funny to me. It's like all you do it, you like really, you're literally helping me make money, us make money. It's just so funny. All right. What are your thoughts on getting the NEEF, opening a bank account and depositing funds from ATM withdrawals while I'm visiting as a tourist? We know lots of people do. Like we know someone who has been depositing money for 5 years, y'all. 5 years every time they come. And of course, when you if you have Schwab or Fidelity, and maybe there's some other banks, you can withdraw the money. They don't charge you conversion. The conversion rate does apply, but conversion fees, they will refund. ATM fees, they will refund. So sometimes we do that. Rick wasn't feeling comfortable at first, but this is Portugal, so he might feel more comfortable 2.5 years later than he did when we first started doing it, because it would save money, because it costs about $30 to transfer money between the two banks, between what our US bank is going to charge and then what our bank here charges for the wire fee. So at least it doesn't go up with the amount of money that we transfer. So the more money we transfer, unlike some services. Alicia and Rick, what about hiring an assistant for my own business in Portugal? I have an online shop and could use someone to help. Is that legal? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what legal issues that would involve? There would be no legal issues. It's just making sure the taxes are in order. And then if you're going to hire someone here from Portugal, they might ask you to register your business here in Portugal. All right. And there's some rules around what you have to do with businesses here in Portugal. Again, if you go to our Move to Portugal Summit, if you buy the replays, we talk about that. We have 2 sessions on starting businesses, or no, we had one last year. We have 1 session, but we had 2 people, 2 Black women who opened businesses here. And then we had a business attorney on who helps with taxes and setting up businesses and all of that. So all of that is in the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit. So that's how I know this stuff. So there's other things that you have to do. So it's not legal. It's more just administrative. They are never going to say no for somebody hiring their people. Okay? They are never going to say no. So did you ask the same question twice? Did I just unclick the wrong one? I hope Ange, I know you had 2 questions and I don't know if it was the same one.
I think it pretty much was.
Okay, where can we get the Portugal Summit link? It's in the description below. So the first part of the description is the description of this video. And then underneath there is all of these resources. And so the Move to Portugal Summit, Exodus Summit, the Move Abroad Toolkit, one-on-one coaching, all of those resources, resources about Portugal, resources for travel, resources for investing are all in every single description below. If it's not there, because sometimes when I set this up on StreamYard, I forget to put the whole thing. If it's not there, it will be there after the live. That will be the first thing that I do. So I didn't look, but I thought I put it in there. Thought I put it in there. All right, I'm minding my business as I watch the leopards eat their faces. We tried to tell y'all. Bye, Felicia. Shots. I'm talking about folks asking of shots as a barrier to travel. Oh, we never question the thousands of shots in America. It's a few shots to travel, take them and keep them moving. Oh, I get you, Shay. I get you. Yeah, definitely not a barrier. And the last time I got a tetanus shot, it hurt like hell. So that's what I was expecting. And either this person was much better at giving the shot, or I'm just remembering it wrong. And like little kids. I mean, I didn't do that, but but I was doing it inside. Do you avoid conversion fees with brokerage account ATM withdrawals? Yeah. Yeah, the only way to do that is to do it. Your American bank has to be the one to not do fees, right? CK, and so that's why we suggest Fidelity or Schwab. I think Capital One does too, but you'll have to check that out. I don't like Capital One, so I don't know. Yes, Halisi, you are talking about compound pharmacies. Yes, which many insurance companies in the U.S. are not covered. Here, all of my prescriptions are compounded. They are made specially for me. I do a blood test every so often. She looks at it and she adjusts. Okay. It's just for hot flashes and stuff like that, but also for health, right? And for preventative. That's what the vitamins and minerals are for. Looks like a vote seeking better health care outside the US. That's right. That's right. I mean, I don't want to take stuff that I don't have to take. Do you think by 2027 we will see the complete chaos from the changes 47 wants to implement, or longer? Possibly. Not complete, not 100%. That manifesto that they have is pretty comprehensive, and it affects all parts of government. The first thing that we have to watch out for, y'all, the first thing that we have to watch out is for a takeover of the media. That's what we have to watch out for. A takeover of the media, and him firing military generals who are not subservient and or pledge allegiance not to the Constitution but to him. Those are the two first signs of fascism. All right. And so what we don't do is we don't obey in advance. That's what we don't do. We don't do something that we think he wants to make it easier or smoother. No, we resist. We resist. But that will be the first two signs. If he starts trying to take away and is successful in taking away broadcast licenses from broadcast news, cable news stations, etc., that's the first sign of a fascist government. And so that's what we have to watch for. Does anyone have accountability partner on this freedom journey? You can get an accountability partner in our Facebook group, Fire Over 50. Fire Over 50. There are people on the same journey as you, trying to get their money straight, trying to get out of Dodge. Some are already out of Dodge. Some have already reached financial independence, and you can find an accountability partner in there. Okay. We have over 2,000 members in our Facebook group. Also, y'all can, in this chat, y'all can become accountability partners. I found my accountability partner in the chat of, I think, Stephanie Perry's video. Portugal and Panama are two countries I've really been interested in scouting. What would be the best time to visit each, and how long should I plan to stay for a scouting trip? Do you want to answer that?
I'd say at least a month.
Yeah, at least a month. At least a month. And so, Julius, it depends. I'm sure you like that answer. If you don't like heat, then I would visit in the hottest part of the year. If you don't like cold, come to Portugal in the coldest part. Panama is probably virtually the same temperature, probably all year long, with some little up and downs and some more rain in some season than the other season. So I would look at what you don't like and go during that time, because that's what you want to see. Is the worst part of
You
the,
want to see it at its worst.
yeah, weather pattern? Can I deal with that, right? And so, like here in Portugal, our winters are like LA, San Diego winters. They're no warmer, no colder. 47 says SSI won't be taxed in USA, but from my understanding, Portugal will tax SSI from USA. Yes, Portugal taxes
Portugal taxes.
Social Security, and so we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, if people push back enough, maybe he won't be able to do all of the things that he wants to do. I can't imagine white folks getting big, huge Social Security cuts, because, like, if you don't tax it, but then you cut it by 30%, what's the effing difference? It's just a selling point. It's just a selling point, right? At that point. So we'll see. Do you have dual citizenship? No, we don't, not yet. Or are you permanent residents in Portugal? So we have temporary residency here. It takes 5 years to get permanent residency in Portugal. We got automatic permanent residency in Mexico. So yeah, that's what we have. I love Cape Town. It's a little bit more white than Joburg, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So both Cape Town and Joburg are beautiful, but I think, like, I was about to say, I think I prefer Johannesburg, but then I would miss the water.
Yeah.
I need to be near water. So, but we've been to Cape Town twice, and we've been to Stellenbosch both times, and both times we like it. Now, one thing I have to say about Cape Town is I saw a lot more homeless people this time than I did the first time, but that's pretty global. It's global, right? Do you have any information on Playa del Carmen in Mexico? There is a thriving Black community in Playa del Carmen and Tulum, which are right next to each other. So go onto their Facebook group. They have Blacks in Playa del Carmen and Tulum, or something like that. Go on, get into their Facebook group and tell them you want to move there, and get into community and see what they're talking about and how they're liking it. But they do have a thriving community there. I just left GDL Mexico, Guadalajara, great city center, 1 bedroom with 24/7 security. See,
Yeah.
$500 to $600 a month. Gas and electric, $95, 100 pesos. Wait, pesos or dollars? So 1,500 total monthly. Okay, there you go, y'all. There you go. I'm just saying, there is a better life. And don't think about Mexican Americans the same. Hey, Dr. Phil, haven't seen you in a while. Don't think about Mexicans in Mexico the same way we think about some Mexican Americans that have bought into white people's thought process about us. Okay. We had nothing but love from Mexican folks in Mexico, even with my crappy ass, broke ass Spanish. Still nothing but love. What do you think of Netherlands? I can't take hot weather. It's going to be a little bit more expensive in the Netherlands. We had a friend who loved it there. She lived there for 2 years. She now lives here. Yeah, it's cold. I can't take that cold. But yeah, I'd say come and check it out. The people that we know like it. It's just a little bit more expensive. No, it's more expensive. I'm not going to say a little bit more. It's more expensive. But it's more efficient, right? It's not as laid back. It's more efficient, but it's more expensive. So let's hide that. Y'all are so cool. Thank you. Greetings all. Don't ignore what's right in front of you. They've told you their plan. Thank you, Dr. Phil. As you know, for those of you who are just logging in, all Super Chat, Super Thanks money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom course for late bloomers like ourselves. And then we have CMB Ocean View, another new name. Welcome, welcome, welcome
Thank you, thank you,
to
thank
Our
you.
Black Utopia. And Leslie, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. We appreciate all of you. We really, truly do. We really do. We do not take it for granted. And our community thanks you. We have given away a gosh, I can't even tell you how many scholarships for Beyond the Bling, and it's not even that expensive. But if you need to get your money straight, $140 or whatever can make a difference. Panama uses USD. Yeah, that's another plus about Panama. They're on the dollar. They're on the American dollar. So we'll just keep the AC on for you. The electric bill will be affordable. Yeah, they're on the American dollar, so you don't have to worry about conversion rates or anything else. And then last but not least, Fela Speaks isn't afraid now, but she will be if she's paying any attention. Y'all, we are living in interesting times. It's been 100 years since the last time we were in this situation. And I fear for my people. I fear for my people. I really, really do. We have dealt with so much adversity that we're not as fragile as some of the other communities, right? But we shouldn't have to go through this anymore. My parents gave blood, sweat, and tears to get rights for everyone, right? Because when we get rights, everybody gets rights. My father lost his security pass. They had our house bugged, our phone tapped, right? They called him a communist and took him through to the tribunals, the McCarthy tribunals, right? This is what we went through. He would get like the police would camp out outside of our door. And now here we are again. Here we are again. And they want to make it so that women can't go out of state to get the health care that they need. They want to monitor the apps on their phones. That's freedom? That's home of the free, land of the brave? Well, if you're so brave, what you scared of? Why you need to control everybody? I thought progress meant that we extend rights, not contract rights. And we know if they sneeze, we get the flu. And I don't want that for our community. We owe them nothing. I want to stay and fight my ancestors. Baby, if that's what you want to do, do it. Do it. But we don't have to. We don't have to. We have been saving that democracy since it existed. And it's time for them to fix themselves. We didn't break that shit, and it's not our responsibility to fix it. All right? White men have been in charge of the world for as long as we can remember, and it's effed up. And it's effed up. And they have nobody to blame but themselves. No one to blame but themselves because they've been in control. They've been in power and they've effed up. Sadly, most Americans do not understand basic civics. No, they don't. Or how the three branches of governments work and were intended to work as a checks and balances. Right. They are ready for the autocracy. That's why there has been the deliberate dumbing down of America. That's why they took civics out of school. They took social studies, STEM. STEM is great, but liberal arts and all of this other stuff is necessary. The reason why they want to take arts out is because it is the artists that tell the story of the moral capacity of a civilization in a specific point in time. And they don't want this stuff to be recorded. We're hip to the skip. We're hip to the skip. And with that, y'all, if you have more questions, we do offer one-on-one coaching. That information is in the description below. You've heard me mention the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit. You've heard me mention the Move Abroad Toolkit. We also have a Ready to Retire Toolkit, scouting trip checklist, an investment FAQ. All of that information is in the description below. And if I forgot to add it, I will do it momentarily. We love y'all, and we will see you on Thursday for our Thursday short.
Be safe.
Be safe. Keep yourself safe. Keep your family safe. We love you. Bye.